Hi there, and welcome to Jay's Toy Collection UK, and welcome to this week in toys, the live stream. Yes, I am back with another live stream, but it is an official episode of This Week in Toys. I do believe, technically, the first episode of This Week in Toys in 2025. So it's only taken till the 1st of March for this to happen, but I am here with the revamped This Week in Toys, which I was going to call This Month in Toys. And now it's this quarter in toys. But as you know, if you've seen the channel, I've been doing live streams reacting to the toy news as it happens, but I've not been able to sit down for a Friday or a Saturday night, as it will be, for a nice long This Week in Toys as we cover all the toy news. But what a time to make my grand comeback and 2025 debut, because it is New York Toy Fair. So it's not in October this year. It's back to its original schedule, and it is back in the month of March. So for the next 4 days, I do believe the toy news will be very heavy. And it actually started last night, because lots of reveals last night, and the night before, even more stuff happened with McFarlane and the DC Multiverse line, which you probably have already seen the video covering that on the channel, because it's probably one of the best performing videos I've ever done. It's had over 5,000 views in, well, it's over a day or so. So, well, absolutely crazy. So the world is talking about McFarlane toys, but it already has more news to talk about. I have more tabs open in front of me than I've had hot dinners. So hopefully I don't crash the thing as we go through. And we have a new co-host for This Week in Toys this evening and this year. Cheeky Monkey Kiara. Well, she's out of here. She's gone. She's gone to a party this evening. Now, I was supposed to be at this party as well. That was the plan for this evening. But there was so much toy news going on, I had to sort of pull a sickie to get out of the party, because I knew you'd want me to come online and talk about toys. So I have got freshly washed hair. You can see it's getting in my face because I was washing ready for the party, and I just couldn't do it. So I had to pull out. So I am here talking toys. So make yourself known in the chat, and I will bring my co-host on in a minute. But it is This Week in Toys. So what does that mean? It means the streak. We're going to have to talk about the streak tonight, because we've had at least one super chat for every episode of This Week in Toys throughout the history of the show. So we've got a goal in the chat tonight. Can we get at least one super chat tonight to keep the streak alive? And to help us remind that, I can finally play my Undertaker graphic. I don't even know if I've actually played this on the channel yet, because I've had to upgrade to a bit of video here, because StreamYard doesn't like me anymore. But here we go then. Can we keep the streak alive? I'll see you in precisely 6 seconds. There was the Undertaker. You've seen him before trying to keep the streak alive, but now he's in video form, so he will pop up throughout the evening if we cannot keep the streak alive. But we will see how that goes throughout the evening. And of course, we have launched channel membership. So if you'd like to join the channel memberships, I've got exclusive behind the scenes videos at the Wedding Fun tier, which my potential co-host this evening has been in some of them. So I'll see you again in 6 seconds. If we just do the housekeeping here and plug the channel membership. There we are. So feel free to join the channel membership this evening, if you will. But I could say, make yourself known in the chat. I will come say hello. But it's time, I think, to bring on the co-host. If you've seen the thumbnail, I have upgraded the thumbnail. So I've been in Microsoft Paint, and I have removed Cheeky Monkey Kiara through the power of Microsoft Paint, and she's been replaced by a man that can only be described, as you can see that thumbnail, as Batman. So if you watched the recent Marvel Legends stream, you may have seen this man with me, and he is back tonight. He's in a different browser, but he is here. It is, of course, Adam Batman Moran is with me, sir.
Evening. How we doing?
Hello. Hello. So yes, we've
I'm well impressed.
Made you a nice new graphic.
I know. I'm well impressed. I've now got my own little graphic.
There you are, your own little graphic. We've got to get him to change his. We've got to get him to change his Instagram logo. You see, to his face. So we've got to keep that branding on. But Adam is with me this evening. So let me come over to the chase. What is he drinking there? There is
an ale, proper British ale.
A proper British ale. Now he knows the amount of news we've got to get through today. So he
I've got Wensleydale cheese. I've got mini eggs. I've got snacks. I'm ready.
Now, before you miss Cheeky Monkey Kiara, people, she did show broccoli once on the channel as a pickup, but Adam has brought a plate of cheese. So that is one thing I did not think we'd be seeing this evening. So that is a channel first here in 2025, a plate of cheese. Now I've got a thing. As you all know, my thing is I don't like cold cheese. Now, hot melted cheese, lovely. Got a bit of a phobia of cold cheese.
Well, let's just slide this snack away, shall we? Let's not upset the channel. Let's not upset the channel host too much.
No, it's all right. You're many miles away, so there you are. You've learned that fact. No, do you ever give me a cold cheese sandwich? Cheese on toast, I am fine. What am I talking about here? Let's go and say hello to the chat. And I think the streak is alive. The streak is alive. We've got a couple of super chats in here. Tac Toys started it off with the £1. No message from Mark. Just get me a pound there, Mark. Just tipping the jar. Thank you very much indeed to Mr. Mark Tac. And my co-host here. He said, let's get things off to a good start, Selby. So he has kept the streak alive. So we can stop showing the Undertaker, which means I can get to my Todd McFarlane super chat graphic as the stream goes on. So thank you to Adam and to Mark. And of course, if you do super chat tonight, you will get the thank you for a super chat graphic, and it is Batman, so we'll start him off with a bit of Batman.
Thank you for the super chat.
Perfect.
Yeah. Sexy voice there, the sexy voice of myself. Right, hello chat. Let's come and say hello. We will say hello. We'll go through a few pickups. I've not got that much to go through, and then we will get in to New York Toy Fair and the news. My hair is absolutely terrible. I need a haircut, or would you like to borrow some?
Yes, if you've got any spare, we'll just some double-sided tape, and
we'll stick it on. Right, let's come and see the chat. How are we doing in the chat? Who started us off? It started with a click, Shelley. What an appropriate way to start the chat. Awesome toys. Oh, NECA Jaws. Yes, NECA Jaws. We've seen a shark. It's apparently a board game. We'll get into it at some point during this evening. Damien is here. Hello to Damien. He did message me asking for a live stream. Your wish is my command. I am here. I've got out the party. And I'm here. I've got to say, happy Cheeky Monkey will be when she gets back. But, there we are. Adam is here. David, Evan, and Smith are with us this evening. All three of them have joined in the chat. I can't wait to hear his opinion on McFarlane Toys. You can tune in this evening on Justin Collects YouTube channel, I do believe, where David will most likely be co-hosting and giving us his in-depth thoughts. I might actually be awake tonight because there is a wrestling pay-per-view starting at midnight. So it is WWE Elimination Chamber. I didn't really intend to stay up all night. Got a bit of a childcare duty in the morning, but I might have to stay up to watch it to avoid spoilers because I think my phone will be blowing up with New York Toy Fair reveals as the weekend goes on. Who else have we got on the chat here? We got Mr. Tac in the chat. Hello to Mark in the chat. And we got Mikey Moonboots is here. Hello to Mikey Moonboots. How are you doing, sir? Because he has a channel membership, so he's got a bit of you come up green on my screen if you're a channel member. So if you join a channel membership tonight, you get a nice bit of green on my screen. That's a lot of rhyming indeed. Now, Adam's bestest buddies just turned up. Craig's nostalgic collection.
I'm leaving.
He's off. He's out. You can't believe it. There was his best mate, his room buddy. He is here tonight. So he's straight on the point. You see, as soon as Craig turns up, he's on the point. So here we are this week in toys. We are here to talk New York Toy Fair and all that goodness. So before we do that, I suppose it's tradition to do a bit of pickup action. But before we do that, I'll just let you know the other videos available on the channel. We'll do a bit of housekeeping here. So if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you are subscribed. And thank you to everybody that has watched the Mattel video. You can see there over 5,000 views. So thank you very much, everybody that's watched that. And the comments. It's had nearly 200 comments on the video. So I've not got around to reading them all yet, but I will do. So thank you, everybody, if you're watching this and you commented on that video. Because Todd is definite big news, it does seem. We've also got a bit of Star Wars news. Now, compared to 5,000 views, that had 100 views. So there's a slight disconnect there with the Star Wars reveals. So nobody was bothered in the slightest, it seems, about that. And we got some talk on the Mondo Wolverine and the Dragon. We'll get all the chat's thoughts on those this evening. And the WWE crowdfund project, of course, has now ended, but we don't actually know the results yet. You can go and see the Gargoyles collection, or you can see the vlog from In Demand Toys. There I am in the hotel, and Adam is in the room next door with good friend Craig there. So they had a lovely time when it came to that.
You can probably hear us through the doors.
Well, we probably could. So, right, here we go. Mine's only water, though.
Yeah, but you've got a much cooler cup than me.
There, yeah, a bit of Spider-Man on the cuppage this evening. So here we are then, a few little pickups. Would you got any pickups with you?
I decided to miss my pickups because they're kind of like bargain basement backtracking Black Series stuff.
Right.
So they're like 7 years old.
There we are. There's some bargain basement backtracking Black Series. I picked up some from a box.
Yeah, that's essentially
what I've got some very random things today. So these are all the stuff that's come today and yesterday, effectively. So what have I managed to find here? So I have a Toxic Crusader figure. So we have Toxie here from the Toxic Crusader line. I don't even know these are Trick or Treat Studios. They've actually they've announced some stuff this evening. So literally 2 figures in this line, which is Dr. Killermoth, which I picked up at the NEC Toy Fair, and there is Toxie himself. So pretty much that is me done with that line. Just a little representation of the Toxic Crusaders. Saves buying the very expensive Super 7 versions. They still never got to the villain. So, talking Super 7, it's like I set that up perfectly. We have a Power Ranger where we have Lord Draken then. A surprise figure. I didn't think they were going into sort of like the comic era of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but they are. So he is here, and I think that's probably the last figure I will ever buy from the Power Rangers. I think that's it. So, and yes, Super 7 announced any more, that's me done with Power Rangers and collection complete. So we'll see.
That answers a question about a topic we're probably going to discuss a little bit later, doesn't it?
Oh yes, we've teed those up. So any play stay tuned, because we've had the exclusive reveals of the Power Rangers from Playmates, and they're fantastic. Fantastic is what they are. What else we got? We got one of the cheapest Mezcos I think I've ever bought. So here is the Joker. Then got him on pre-order from Props and Replicas. He was only like $69.99. So
that's really good.
Really cheap for a Mezco. I don't know why he was so much. Maybe he doesn't have as many accessories, I suppose, as other Mezco figures out there. So I guess that's why he's cheaper. So the classic sort of Dick Sprang art of Joker. Pretty much pulled all the Mezcos out. Adam's seen the famous sale pile. So they're all in there. But I needed somebody to go with Classic Dick, you see. So Joker had to come to help Batman with Classic Dick. There we go. What else we got? This is one Adam is going to be a massive fan of. He's a big collector of the female figures. So here is a pack that he's going to
double female pack. I mean, now we're talking.
He cannot contain himself, ladies and gentlemen. You'll learn this about the channel throughout the year as Adam joins me during these streams, because so it's Destiny and it's Rogue, and it was about £10 off, so it was less than £40 on Amazon. So I finally pulled the trigger. As we've all seen, a fantastic amount of accessories. This one could barely fit the accessories in the box, as we like to say. But one thing I didn't know is actually Destiny has sort of like a bit of a paint detailing on her face, which I didn't actually realise because I've never actually paid much attention to the figure. So that's a little bit better than I was thinking. We've got a wrestling figure. So the exclusive American Dream Dusty Rhodes has arrived. It was a Rock and Roll Collectibles, so shout out Rock and Roll Collectibles, very good UK independent retailer of the wrestling figures. Imported this over because this is it's red, so I'm assuming it's a Target exclusive over in the US, and they don't like us over here, so we can't get them, so we have to import them. So Dusty Rhodes is here. Here's one I think Adam will enjoy. It's Moduloc from Masters of the Universe Origins.
Very much.
So he is available at Smith's. I think he's $29.99. So the sort of deluxe price point. I think he's a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive in the US, but he's a Smith's exclusive here in the UK. But they only had one left, so I had to pay full price for this because I didn't want to miss him, and he's out of stock online. So Moduloc is here. and one final pickup, and then we'll get into the news because I say there's a load of it tonight. It is the Evolution 3-pack. So Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista. It was down from £60 to £40 at Smith's. So it was time to pull the trigger on that one.
You helped me with my first modern wrestling purchase this week, didn't you?
I did. We will get into that. That is in one of the tabs as well to go through in the many, many tabs that we have to go this evening. Craig's celebrating his birthday. It's not actually his birthday, but he's celebrating anyway. Hello, Cloud Foxwell. Cloud, how are you doing? Hopefully I can get Cloud to join me at some point next week because the Mythic Legion's Dragon will be going up for full crowdfunding. I think it's next Friday. So stay tuned to the channel for a video on that. And hopefully Cloud can help me through because I'm sure there's going to be lots of details. Then I can pronounce the name of the dragon properly. And John Morrissey is here. Hello to John Morrissey. What time is it? It's clobbering time and time to pound that like button. Yes. Take John Morris's advice. Hello, John Morrissey.
Yes,
and
good advice, John.
Do pound that like button if you like. Okay, we've done the streak graphic. So now you're going to get the Todd. So any super chats tonight, you will get a thank you. We will answer your questions. And you help out our good friend, Todd McFarlane, because he's going to need it now. So Todd is here to remind you about super chats.
Hey everybody, Todd McFarlane here.
Letting you know that super chats are live. Help out our friend Todd tonight because he's in a bit of a pickle. He's old, excuse me, Mr. McFarlane. So he needs your help more than ever. So if you're quite ready, I think we're ready.
I think we're ready.
We can delay no longer. We are going in. How many? We've got 30 people with us in the chat. So hello to the live audience. Make yourself known as the same. We will say hello as we go throughout the evening. Claudia's confirmation there for a bit of Dragon streaming. So stay tuned for that next week. But if we go to the screen share, we will start off with the breaking news from February the 27th. I have done a video on it, but we haven't discussed it on the live stream, and we've not had this man's thoughts on it on the entire internet. So here we go to Toy Ark. So basically we'll be living on Toy Ark this evening because they've done all the hard work gathering all the information we possibly can. So in case you haven't heard, Mattel have regained the rights to make DC toys starting in the second half of 2026. Now, as you say, you've probably all seen my video with my initial thoughts on it, but I've stewed on my thoughts and lots have changed in the toy room effectively because of this news. So first of all, I was in a bit of waffly shock. I was like, oh my God, it's actually happening. Our good friend Compulsive Collector is going to be living his dream because McFarlane is out. The pins are out, the diapers are out, and Mattel are back in. But as a man with over 200, I think, McFarlane figures in my collection, I was not quite as impressed at the first thought of this because I was like, oh, great, that's that line of goner. But then I had a little think about it. I had a little stew on it, and I've done a lot of, I say, maneuvers in the toy room since. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then we'll come over to Adam for very in-depth thoughts, hopefully, on this topic. So I've decided, after great deliberation, of course I'm going to sell it for the 5th time. So 5 times now I will be selling McFarlane toys. So I initially came in when Todd jumped on the line. I thought, these aren't for me. I wasn't that impressed with the first figures, so I sold them, got out of the game. He started to do a cut of figures I liked. I got back in and I thought, no, they're not for you. Get out of the game. And it happened again. And then he announced it was the Riddler. It was a classic-looking Riddler figure that got me back in. I thought, no, he's finally doing some characters you want, classic outfits. You're in this time. Stick with it, son. Because I've been in and out of DC lines over the years. So I've owned DC Icons. It stopped. Couldn't complete any more characters, so I sold it. I then sold, what else did I have? I had a bit of Mattel, not very much of the original stuff. I was a bit late to that line. I sold it. I had DC, what was it even called? It was DC Collectibles did a line, about 7-inch scale. I can't remember what the bloody line was called. It was after Icons. It was just before Todd took over.
DC Essentials.
That's the word. Thank you. There you go. That's why he's the co-host. DC Essentials. But again, that stopped. So I sold them because, like, can I just get a bloody DC line that I could actually continue with? So I thought, okay, Todd's finally doing what you like. It seems he's had it for a good few years now. This is going to be keeping going. And, okay, I'm in. So I went in, off I went. and collecting DC. And then the news came that no, Todd's out of here and Mattel is back. So initially I was like, oh, great. Okay. Do I keep them? Do I sell them? Because I'd like to collect DC, but I'd like more characters. If the line's ending, what do I do? So I've decided what to do. And I thought, no, okay, you need to sell some of them. So I was and ahhing on the movie figures from Mattel anyway. So they are now all out in the sale pile because effectively I've got pretty much those Batman characters from the movies in Hot Toys form now as I've been going into the Hot Toys over the last year. So I probably don't need them. So I'm going to keep the Batmobiles because I display those above my Hot Toys cabinets and sell the movie figures. So that was 2 shelves clear in a toy room. So I was like, okay, this feels kind of good because I had about 6 shelves of McFarlane, 2 movie, 4 comic shelves. And then I thought, okay, maybe this is a good end point to the line. But some of these characters I do enjoy, like the classic Penguin, I like the classic Riddler, characters like the Clock King, random things that I've always been quite a random fan of. And I thought, I actually do like these. So I'll just keep a shelf. So I've decided to keep a shelf and pull out all the rest. So I spent effectively yesterday going through the shelves, pulling out the ones I was like, you only bought this because it was part of a bigger collection, but it's not something you actually really need or want. It's just a random character within the DC line because I was collecting the DC line. So I've pulled all those out and just kept the essentials. And I'm down to probably about 80 figures, I would say, over a nice double deep shelf. There's literally not a single millimeter of space on that shelf. And that is literally jam-packed with all the ones I liked, and that pulled out another 2 shelves worth. So now effectively I've freed up 4 shelves in the toy room. So I quite enjoyed that because then I can sell them and make a little bit of money back to fund the rest of the collection and still have the ones I like. And that's like a nice ending point to McFarlane Toys. And then I've done kind of a similar thing with the World of Springfield now as the new line comes out. I've stopped collecting those, got a nice full shelf. That's the representation of that era. And I'll move on to the next era. So actually, when I thought about it, I was like, I think I'm okay with this. I think I am okay with this and would quite like a Mattel line. I said in my initial video, Mattel have come on a long way since the previous DC figures. Now, the DC Universe Classics, they have the very weird hips. I think Todd's figures are better than the DC Universe Classics in terms of being a modern action figure. As I say, Todd's articulation, not the greatest. The pins, not the greatest. The diapers, not the greatest. But they're okay. If you see them in bulk, they don't look very good individually. If you see them in bulk, I think the collection does look quite nice as a display collection. So Mattel, I think, will do a better job because I've got the WWE line, and that's a much more superior line. The WWE Ultimates line is one of the best figure lines out there today. So if they can apply that aesthetic, that style to a DC Multiverse figure or whatever they're going to call the line, I think that's a pretty good thing. So actually, I was like, okay, Todd's era has come to an end for me. That's fine. And I think I'm okay with it. And I'm moving on. And actually now, I'm quite happy because I freed up all the space in the toy room for other collections as well to now shine. So the Storm collectibles have been pulled out of retirement today. And I actually quite like that shelf. So I'm okay with it. I've moved on with the news. 6 inches, 7 inches, that's another thing to debate. I was never bothered about the 7-inch scale because I don't really want them to go with my Marvel Legends. I'm not that bothered if they don't scale. 6 and 7 inches to me doesn't bother me, but I know I think the majority of the community out there would want a 6-inch line. So I think we're going to get better figures. And yeah, I think I'm actually okay with this news and I'm quite cheered up. So I have got a poll in the chat. Poll simply says, who will make better DC figures, McFarlane Toys or Mattel? So far at 24 votes, we've got 67% Mattel and 33 Todd. So we're about sort of one third for Todd, 2/3 for Mattel. So it's not as a landslide for Mattel as it is. I've been in a few. I tried sharing my video in a DC Multiverse Facebook group. That was a bit of a laugh. I thought I'll join in. They're usually the most moaning buggers I've ever seen. And yep, there we are. Pretty much banned instantly. The Facebook police, they were straight on me. I was out of there. And yeah, there's some weird people. They will not. There's people in there that will not accept the news. They're like, no. Todd's making them. I'm like, I think Todd's probably not making them. Now, of course, Todd could do something maybe in a different scale. Because you had the Mattel running with a line and you had DC Collectibles running with a line, but I think they were kind of owned by Warner Brothers. So it probably is something different. That maybe he could do more of a statuary thing, something slightly different. So he might also make something, but clearly he's not going to be making the actual main adult collectible figures. The press releases out there are very clear that it's a global license. It is for all products. So Spin Masters are out as well for the children's product. So this will all be by the second half of next year in the hands of Mattel. Because effectively, I think they had the money with the with James Gunn, as you say, taking over the DC films and everything. I say there's a bit more good buzz about DC out there, and I think Mattel fancied another crack at it. So I think Todd really probably couldn't outbid Mattel, so he didn't have a lot of options in this one. So in the chat, get your thoughts in the chat. Let us know what you think, and we'll go for a few comments on this situation before we get into the rest of the Toy Fair news. But I thought we needed to address it on the live stream, so I've given you every thought I could possibly think of on this topic. So we're going to hand over to Adam, who again is a collector of DC. His bloody genuine legal middle name is Batman, so he needs to have a good in-depth weigh-in on this topic.
I'm over the moon. Yeah, thoroughly pleased. I'll start with some more positives because I'm always really critical of McFarlane. You changed my mind slightly because of the way that my display works. I never liked the McFarlane figures. My biggest issue is that he doesn't sculpt muscles. All of his figures are really scrawny. You've got like Superman with these legs like that, and same with Batman. And he would also include, like when I bought the Thomas Wayne Batman, that's a great. He includes the card of the artwork, and you've got this character, legs like tree trunks, and then you've got this figure with these little. And I'm just like, I don't understand from a business model how you can make something that looks absolutely nothing like the artwork, but even include the artwork with it to sort of like really highlight just how shit your figure looks. Like, this is what the character's meant to look like, and this is what we've produced. So I hated it. However, I came to your house, and like you said, you've got hundreds, and I then saw them all displayed together, and you're right. Together as a display, they look so much better. Because of the way that I display, I don't keep a lot of McFarlane together, and I do mix my lines. So I'd have kind of this skinny Batman posed next to like maybe an old DC Direct Superman, or even like a Marvel Legends character sort of somewhere nearby on the display with, you know, like a physique of a superhero, and it would just look ludicrous. So no, from that point of view, I'm really pleased. I think he's really egotistical. I think he's an absolute narcissist. You know, he makes these figures. I brought some props to emphasize my point. So
we'll go to a bigger screen for props.
Old DC figure based on Batman Noel. Lee Bermejo, one of my favorite comic book artists. That's the old DC figure. It's like a 10-year-old figure now. Could have stepped off the page. You know, there's no white in the eyes. The eyes are open. The cape and the emblem all meet up. The bat literally could have stepped off the page. McFarlane then does the same figure, but McFarlane isms are all over it. Like the eyes are whited out, which they're not. The symbol doesn't meet the cape. The belt's totally different. So he just takes it and adds. You know, you've got like when Marvel do something slightly wrong. Like, look at how irate David Evan Smith was, just because Jean Grey's boots were like, and he was raging. But McFarlane fans accept just this bastardized this sorry, you told me not to swear as well. This total change.
We're past the 10-minute mark. You can add a few in.
Right. Yeah, the total bastardization of what the source material is meant to be. So, yeah, I'm thrilled.
He has come out and said that before, because Clive says here in the chat, he tods it up, and he has said that comic book accuracy isn't the thing he's going for. He wants the toy to be a cool toy.
Yeah,
and
exactly. But the vast majority of his fans and the vast majority of people who are collecting and buying these figures would prefer them to be comic accurate rather than like his fun play on the media. Like, I just think they'd be a lot more popular, and I don't think your video would be through the roof of 5,000 hits because everyone's over the moon if he just made comic accurate comic book figures. If he wanted to do, which he's done before, like he did really early on, didn't he? He did like a McFarlane Batman, didn't he? So like not based on
him and the Wonder Woman,
like
very weird things,
really weird. Like if he wants to do that and he thinks there's a market for it, fine, like, he could have done that. He could have done his odd McFarlane take on these characters. But if his main line, like you said, with a classic Riddler, things like that, if his main line had just followed what these characters are meant to look like, especially when you do it based on an exact artist's work and an exact graphic novel. Like, if you do it that specific, he is Batman Noel, but it doesn't look that much like Batman Noel. I've messed about with it a little bit. Yeah, no. See you later, Todd. See you later.
He's very happy. Well, let's just hear from Todd again. We love Todd.
Hey everybody, Todd McFarlane here.
Letting you know that super chats are live.
And as a bonus for channel members, do not forget, if you're a channel member and you're watching live, get your Todd McFarlane emojis in the chat, because Todd's face is in the channel membership there. So if you're not a channel member, I'll play the video. The join button's there, but you can get Todd's face in this very segment. Yeah, so Adam is the happy man.
David Evan Smith has totally agreed with my point about Jean Grey. And he said, yeah, there we go. Damn right.
There he is. Absolute madness. That man is not happy. I was watching Unparalleled stream, and he was super chatting Ryan Ting about the boots. And it seems I think they just forgot. Seemed to be the thing. So he's not a happy bunny out there, is our good friend David Evan Smith. But I say, stay tuned to Justin Collect's live stream tonight, hopefully, and David will give his in-depth thoughts on this particular matter. So Adam is pretty happy then, effectively. That. So what are you doing with your McFarlane figures then? Are you selling? Are you keeping? What are you doing? You're a mixer, you said.
Yeah, I'm a mixer, and so I'm quite happy because I only really bought the ones that I did like. I mean, God, I'm going to sound like such a hypocrite here. But if I just pretend that this is not meant to be Batman Noel, I actually really like this figure. Like I think as a figure goes, with the sort of cloth cape, and some of the aesthetic, I like it as a figure. So I've kind of done that with all of them. I've only bought the McFarlane figures that I actually do really like. I mean, even some of them, like, I love the Nightfall Bane and Batman that he did, despite the fact that Bane is ludicrously big. And so that's another thing. Again,
he is massive. I bought him to the front of the collection.
Yeah,
he's huge.
What are you doing, Todd? That could have been my figure pack of the year, because I really liked that Bane if he just shrunk it down.
Talking about the big figures, we just scroll through the chat. Tac Tac Toys is mentioning there, would you keep the bigger figures to mix them with the other line? For me, no. I cannot stand line mixing. It's an absolute. It's worse than I not like a cold cheese. I do not like action figure lines mixed together. So I cannot cope with it.
If you came round to mine now, while I sat there and ate me cold cheese with me mixed line on the shelf,
there you go. He's eating this Wednesday day with mixed figure lines. I'll be having an absolute panic attack. It'd be worse than Craig's beef crisps in the car. Any Dan Who channel members, go and check out his Toys in Toyota video. And as we have a podcast from there, and you can also check out a road trip on this channel from In-Demand Toys, if you know what I'm talking about, with Craig and the beef Chris. Christopher Allen, Rich's favourite. How are you doing there? Favourite news of recent memory there. So he's in to the fact that McFarlane will no longer be having the DC license. And as I say, it seems to be, I don't know, it's mixed. As I say, in DC Facebook groups, they're absolutely throwing a fit in there that it's happening. But I'm quite happy with the news, I think. And I think we will get better figures in the long run. And at least it stops me buying any more McFarlane figures for the next year, because I've filled my space. That is it. To me, that is the collection done. I'm quite happy with the display. And I'll move on to the next era and save a year's worth of budget on what I would have spent on McFarlane toys. So we will see. Space on the shelf there. How are you doing, Pete? You say looking forward to seeing a Mattel Batman. Jeremy Curlow is with us tonight. My son collected DC together in 2010. So looking forward what they do next. Yes, I know Jeremy's been selling a lot of his figures there, but maybe this will be pulling him back in then. Judge Dredd is here. Confused looking face. Maybe else is here. Save us, Mattel. Please save us. So see, I don't mind Todd. I love Todd McFarlane as an artist. Todd McFarlane is my favourite artist. I love his art style, and he brought me into action figures in the modern era, really, 20 years ago with his movie Maniacs. So I've always got a bit of a soft spot for my good old mate Todd. And Cheeky Monkey loves it when I mention his name, because I'm always selling the bloody stuff. It's become a gimmick now, it seems, on the channel there, selling that. Damien is asking, would you think Mattel will do Batman movie stuff? I don't know if they would do it straight away. They probably wouldn't, because I think Todd's got that pretty much covered.
I'm kind of hoping we maybe get a Batman Returns from Todd before
he's got another year, and this will queue up on next slide because he's already announcing stuff. Because we'll go to New York Toy Fair.
Just before you get the slide up, Dan's in the chat saying he can still smell the beef.
There we are. He's in green, so he's a channel member. Thank you, Mr. Who, and he's there. Can still smell the beef. Can still smell Craig's beef in the car. Right. Let's go smoothly then to the next tab. Straight over to the convention floor. Then it started around 2:00 UK time today, in the morning for the US, and my phone has not stopped blowing up. It was fastest finger first in the Instagram groups. Who could share the news quicker? It was quite fun actually for an hour or so to see all this sort of toy news. It reminded me of the old days when we used to have much more reveals because we only had SDCC and Toy Fair. But now with all the reveals all the time, it's not as impactful. There's some good stuff, but Todd hasn't slowed down. I don't think he's mentioned it. Todd is, in the wrestling terms, he's not selling it at all. No selling from Todd. He's moved on. He won't mention it. Spin Masters, I've seen a video, very confusing video, saying that they don't have a license anymore. But Todd is ploughing on like nothing's happened. So I'm assuming he's got the license to the end of this year. We'll have a 6-month gap as they maybe clear out the McFarlane stock, and then the new license starts probably in July then for Mattel. So, but Todd, as I say, Todd has not stopped. So I opened my last McFarlane figure today. It was actually this figure here. It was the Joker. And it was a good way to go out. I was quite happy to end on that Joker because it's a classic Joker, which I'd like for the collection. I've wanted since the start of Todd's line. So that was a nice way to end it for me. I was like, yeah, that'll do. That is me done. But he hasn't stopped. So I said, that's it. That's my last DC Multiverse figure. But within seconds, I realized there's at least one more figure I'm buying. It's not from DC Multiverse. It's from not his Superpowers line, but he's starting a Super Friends line then. So this is in the same scale as, if I can reach one. Oh, can I reach one? Oh, I've got one. It's in the same scale as the Batman 66 stuff. So you're not getting much articulation out of these. This is pure sort of retro nostalgia for these figures. But I did like the Super Friends cartoon. It's the thing I used to watch. I had little VHSs of it when I was a kid. I got little Batman ones as well. And I have a couple of figures from the New Adventures of Batman. I have Batman, Robin, and the Joker. And I will be adding the villains from this line to that collection. So Lex Luthor in his classic Super Friends outfit and Sinestro as well will be joining me just to go with that, to finish off that collection there, because I think they'll fit in with the stuff he's already done absolutely perfectly. Not the greatest figure in the world, but for a little bit of retro nostalgia fun for a cheap price point, I'm definitely going to be buying the villains, at least, from this Super Friends line. I'd like that Riddler, but that's got a classic annoying Todd trait, the bloody platinum chases. Now he's got the red platinum chase, which I think means it's a new character. It's not going to be available in this country. So that'll be fun, but I would like that Riddler as well, if I can somehow get my hands on it, just to go in. I do like the package in there. Any thoughts on these?
Yeah, not for me, this line, but you're right about that. That's probably another Todd thing we didn't really discuss, isn't it? The distribution. So I'm really hoping, Mattel, because actually even some of Mattel's distribution at times, because they do a lot of exclusives that are tough to...
I wouldn't get your hopes up on UK distribution, being the fact that it's Mattel. Now, there's Todd's, another one of his annoying factors is international distribution. Mattel have better distribution when it comes to a regular figure. So I no fear we'll get the regular figures over here, no problem. It will be the exclusives the UK will have an issue with Mattel, because effectively for like hardly any of their lines, they bring in the exclusives. Now, occasionally, like you've seen today with my Modulot pickup from Smith's, if the line goes into Smith's, maybe. But the wrestling figures, they tend not to bring the exclusives over, and they make quite a lot of exclusives. So again, that could be an issue going forward with Mattel. Hasbro, for all the stick that Hasbro get for international collectors, that is their best point, because they just bring all the exclusives over and just make them effectively regular figures in international markets. So that's Hasbro's strongest suit, I would say, is the exclusive. Yeah. So I wouldn't quite get my hopes up for Mattel's exclusive distribution being any better. And there's another platinum Batman, so in funny colours. What else has he shown then? So we're literally, as we say, we go through this news tonight. Carry on chatting away in the chat. We will go through what we can see, but I will try and find these images through Toy Arc. So Jim Gordon in the Multiverse line. It looks like a younger Jim Gordon, so probably a Batman Year One version, I would think, of Jim Gordon potentially.
Yeah, that's a much better figure again, because I'm not as hung up on the whole physique thing. I think his diapers maybe even a little bit more, evident on that design than on some of the other ones. It's like Jim Gordon in his incontinence pants. Like
some of the figures, it doesn't bother me at all. If it's, I can deal with it. But yeah, that one, because it's a pair of like
trousers,
work trousers. Yeah, it's not.
That looks really bad.
It says hello to Eric Baker in the chat. Power Rangers stuff. We'll get to the Power Rangers. That is in the tab. What's up?
We've got a tab for it, Eric.
We've got a tab for everything tonight. Literally, it's literally a tab tonight. Hello, suckers. Hello to Northern Nomad. How are you doing out there as well? So say make yourself known in the chat, and we will come to you as we can throughout the evening. So he's going to keep these. Were on the leak list for McFarlane. I have no idea what that Batman is.
Neither do I, but I must admit that's one I do really like. I'll absolutely be picking that up. Just I don't mind a random. I don't mind a random figure like that, and I as a figure, I think that looks really good. I think it's maybe just because it reminds me. I want the Steel Clan robot from Gargoyles that you've got.
Oh yes, yeah.
And there's just a bit of a ring of that sort of design about it, which I really like.
I've got two, so if you can convince me, you might be able to get one out of display.
Okay.
I don't even know what that is. Adam likes it. There you go. That's why he's here, to bring a different opinion to the channel. Because to me, I don't know. Is that a reuse of the Hellbat wings from ages ago, or is I don't know? I recognise the wings for some reason. It was a weird thing. And I think we have seen these before, haven't we? So what else is new on here? This thing was supposed to go up for pre-order, wasn't it? The Killing Joke version of Joker, but it hasn't gone up for pre-order. Now, I do like it. I think potentially that was the first DC comic I ever read. It's only like 50 pages or something. So I have actually read that, so I wouldn't mind that in the collection. But that's one where the pins do stick out and it does look a bit weird. So I will hope now. I will sit back. I will let that pass me by, and I will wait for Mattel to give me a better version, effectively, on there. We go to some of the other DC releases here. Again, I'm not familiar with some of the modern versions of Green Arrow, which I'm assuming this is.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one at all.
No, we know nothing. We know absolutely nothing. It's a version of Green Arrow. That's our man, isn't it? I think.
Man. Yeah.
Just a repaint of a Spectre body, by the looks of that straight away. So he's already at the repaints. That tends to happen in the last year of a toy line.
Yes, very much.
Jax did this when they lost the license for WWE over to Mattel, actually, of all companies. And the last year they took half the paint off the figures. It was just repaints. So I don't know. Todd, potentially, we might get something. He may not do that, or he may. Now, there was a Superman shown summer, wasn't there? Where on earth is the Kingdom Come Superman?
The Kingdom Come Superman.
Where is he? Oh, he's down here. He's down here. So there we are.
Which again,
Alex Ross art. Isn't he supposed to have grey streaks in his hair?
Yeah, which is literally a fundamental. I hope he. I mean, I can't quite make out this, but that is a fundamental. Oh no, he doesn't. Yeah, no, it's. Yeah, it's a fundamental characteristic of.
We're turning on Todd here. We're turning on Todd live in stream. I was with him. Well, I'm okay now. I'm done with it. It's fine. I don't need to buy it. I knew you'd want to buy this. There was
I do, because Alex Ross. But yeah, that's the lack of. That might be a. I suppose I could get it and just paint the bloody things on, but then it's annoying that you have to do that for, like I said, for something that is so fundamental about that character.
I don't think it is there. I'm trying to see, is it very subtle that there was I don't think it is. There was I don't know who that is either. Fantastic. We're doing well on DC. Come on, he's bloody useless. He's gonna be fired episode 1. There was we don't know who that is. There's Starman.
There's
We do
Starman.
Supergirl.
We know who Starman is.
Where's Supergirl? I think we won't buy that. Actually, I don't think she looks too bad. She's again a bit pinned, but I like the face sculpt actually, and I like the hair. So I don't think that's actually too bad. If I was still a McFarlane collector, I've not been a McFarlane collector for about 2 hours, so I'm not buying it. But if I was, I would have purchased that.
And it looks, obviously, when they've got the artwork behind it as well. So I like that. I like the fact that they've got her stand in front of the artwork, and even though the cape sort of covers it a little bit, it looks fairly accurate to what the artwork is.
We've been saved in the chat. Jeremy, thank you. It's Damage.
Damage. There we go. Well
we
done,
didn't need. There's Mr. Who is he's been attacked. Please help. Don't worry. I've been there an hour, man. Because I'm Hour Man. There you are. See that stands. He's gone deep into that on Hour Man there. What a fantastic name for a superhero. Jeremy again to the rescue. Green Arrow's son, Connor Hawk. Why have I got Jeremy? Come on, son. This is just
Jeremy, you'll be the co-host next week.
He's been fired episode 1. There was he knows more than Cheeky Monkey. I got those shooting for
There we go.
There's Chris Brown's wondering why does Superman's left hand seem so big? Because Todd has very weird proportioned hands. That is another trait of McFarlane toys. Just it was a good point. Now the toy industry does seem to be becoming now almost monopolized by the big two, but they're the ones with the cash to buy these bigger licenses. Potentially is why it's happening. But so there are lots of independents out there for all the other lines. To say I collect about 70, I think, different toy lines. There's a video somewhere on the channel, but the big licenses, I think, are always going to be eaten up by these big companies because they've got the money. So Todd is still showing some stuff off. If anyone's got a spare £250, you can get yourself a little. No, that's not going to sell, is it? Good lord,
that's insane.
He's doing his little Todd's. What do you like, muscly things? Do you like these funny little muscle?
Todd, find a happy medium.
This is exactly what you told me you wanted. He's given it to you. You don't want it.
It's not quite what I said I wanted.
Overly muscly males. This is it. This is literally your line. What's he calling it? Todd's pals or something, isn't he? He calls it. I don't know. I can't really call it the bloody line, but it's the end for our friend Todd. So I think that's pretty much the new stuff he's shown today. Anything else new I can see? Oh, there was a new Superman.
Oh, there was the new Superman. Yes, yeah.
So the new Superman. Now that is on the body from the old man, sort of Superman from the Crisis on Infinite Earthwaves, because I have that one, and that's actually quite a nice figure. So to actually get a decent Superman head sculpt on it, I actually would, if I was still a McFarlane collector, I would purchase that. Are you? I'm assuming you'll buy this.
That one, I think that one's probably classic enough that if it's based on sort of an earlier art style as well, where he wasn't quite as big as he is in more modern comic books, I think I'm probably all right with that one.
Yeah, very nice. And Kurt K, hello Kurt. Any Batman 66 reveals? No, not a thing for Batman 66. All they've got on that is we've got these say the Super Friends on the same body bucks. So that is one line. Again, our good friend David Evans Smith will probably be happy or not happy that is coming to an end is the Batman 66. I've still got my 66 stuff behind me. I'd pretty much finished with that collection anyway. There wasn't much more I would want in a Batman 66 line. So again, I think he's done well with those sort of smaller lines. But again, the articulation of things aren't there. So I think that's as much as we can say when it comes to the DC Multiverse. So we're just going to have to wait really for a year then until we can get something shown from Mattel. I'm assuming literally on the 1st of July, boom, all the product images will hit. The product will hit in hand, and it will literally be off to the races like we were with McFarlane Toys. Shout out to Justin Collect. We have mentioned his live stream a few times. He will be live at 2 o'clock in the morning for us. So in precisely, what's that? In about 5 hours' time, that man will be live.
We might have made it through all the tabs by then.
We might have made it through the tabs.
A straight handover.
I might get to watch the wrestling pay-per-view tonight. We will find out. But that is Todd spluttering things out for another year or so for the DC Multiverse line. So hopefully, if people want to complete teams, he will complete teams. But we're going to have to stick with Todd. But it's a different topic because, of course, Todd, if we go over here, so I can close 2 tabs as we go through here. So we're in tab number 3, and we're 53 minutes into the show this evening. And Todd, straight away, out with the bad news, doesn't sell it, no sells it at all, bang, into a new license. So, Todd is doing Turtles, and he's had Mortal Kombat before, but he's got it again, but this time, he's going classic. So, Mortal Kombat Classic plus McFarlane toys. So, I was no longer a McFarlane collector for, 2 hours? And then once again, ladies and gentlemen, I became a McFarlane toys collector. I've just changed lines. I have legitimately already made the shelf space today for these figures. So, Mortal Kombat to me was by far my favorite childhood computer game. I used to play it every single weekend. I used to go to my grandparents' house. My cousin would come over with the Sega Mega Drive. And of course, games didn't seem age restricted back in around 1993, 94, 95. So we were playing this game where you would punch somebody and they'd go into a pit of spikes. And I was having the time of my life as a 7 and 8 year old. So I utterly love Mortal Kombat from those first 3 games and Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Mortal Kombat Trilogy is probably my favorite game ever. That or Resident Evil, I would say, as I got a bit older. So yeah, somebody give me a Resident Evil line. But yes, here we are. As we hit 40 viewers in the chat. Hello, anybody new in the chat? Make yourself known. We will say hello as we're going through New York Comic Con. But Todd isn't doing the modern Mortal Kombat stuff. I'd say computer games these days are far too complicated for me. I'm no good at them at all. But I do like the Sega Mega Drive stuff or the Sega Genesis for our US viewers. So we're going to get some classic Mortal Kombat figures at a sort of probably a standard £25 sort of price point. Now, straight away, they don't look the greatest figures in the world. So I'm saying that off the bat. I don't like the torso cut in Liu Chang's chest. The feet look a bit small. And they're probably going to have pins. And yeah, I can see the pins. So they're not going to be the greatest figures in the world. So yes, Jada Toys would do a better job. I'm not saying that. And I do own all the Storm Collectibles figures. But I think it's kind of cool. I've kind of done a new display today. So I've got the Jada Toys for your sort of standard price point Street Fighter figures, and I've got the Storm Collectibles versions out of the sale pile. They were pulled back out of the sale pile and into the display for like the higher end collectibles, so I can sort of have 2 different things going on, and then I can do the exact same mirroring the display for Mortal Kombat with the Storm Collectibles and the stuff here from McFarlane Toys. And he's given us something that Storm have not given us in all the bloody years. We're actually getting the female ninjas in the Mortal Kombat line. So we're gonna get Katana, we're gonna get Melina, we're gonna hopefully get Jade, we're gonna get the female ninjas. Now my co-host, obviously you should say, loves his female figures, one of his favorite things to collect. But that is a lie. Adam has got a bit of a weird thing where he doesn't buy the feminine form in toy. So we'll just move swiftly on from that. But finally, I've been waiting years for the bloody female ninjas. So Todd has given me them, and we've got the removable mask with the crazy teeth underneath. Looks like we're going to get 2 packs and singles, so you're already going to have to buy Sub-Zero twice. And will I buy Sub-Zero twice? Yes, I will, because he's my favourite character in Mortal Kombat. So I'll have the regular version. I suppose I could skip the regular version and just get the 2-pack version, but I'll probably buy both. And yeah, 2 packs by the looks of it. Some accessories. Could do with some more accessories there, I think. We've got the fan as well. Yeah, Mortal Kombat Classic, people. McFarlane Toys, as I say. We'll get to Turtles in a second, but yeah, I'm definitely in for a sort of standard level Mortal Kombat line. Not going to be the greatest line, but I'm aware of that going into it. And when I've got all the characters there, if you can go deep enough, I think they said at least 12 figures a year, and it could be a decent display. But Todd, don't bugger it up and get me the entire roster of Mortal Kombat Trilogy, because we don't have Jax, we don't have Sonya Blade, we don't have Johnny Cage from Storm Collectibles. So as you can see, quite passionate about these. I really want the bloody things. Adam, to you.
It's a bit of a mixed bag for me. I'd like, as well as not collecting female figures, I've never owned any sort of games console. However, I love ninjas, and I really like the Sub-Zero and Scorpion design. I always have. I've always wanted the Storm Collectibles. I could just never find them at a reasonable price. But I'm a bit annoyed they're 7-inch, because especially with Jada doing the 6-inch Street Fighter, which I've got a few of, it would have obviously have been great to have, because that is a line that I think even people who don't mix a lot of lines would maybe have set up a little bit of Street Fighter against Mortal? No, with Dave? No, fine.
For me personally,
Fine,
no, I
fine.
couldn't give a crap about the 7-inch or the 6-inch display because I'll never mix the two lines. Standing on a shelf with a divider in the middle, they'll look fine. But I do
I'm
get
the weird one.
yeah.
I'm the weird one.
Well, we've got between us this evening, we're very strange humans. But I think all collectors have got their own random sort of traits there.
Yeah.
I can see why people want them, especially if you're doing toy photography. You could do Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. But yeah, to me, it doesn't bother me, but I can definitely see why it would bother people out there because you do want to do that. And then even
like
Mikey Moon Boots there in the chat is saying the same thing.
Yeah, Cullen Tom could have done some cracking like Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. Well, I mean, I suppose they still could and just change the perspective. But no, I'm really pleased about this, and I'll absolutely buy probably most of the ninjas. I actually got into Mortal Kombat watching this random, like, I think it might have even been like a fan-made series on YouTube.
Oh, the history of Mortal Kombat.
It was like a Mortal Kombat drama that it was in. There were like episodes on YouTube of it, but it seemed quite big budget for like a fan thing. And then I watched the film that came out a few years ago, and again didn't like a lot of the film, but loved all the bits with Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
I've got well, actually, on YouTube, we were watching in bed last night. The hot and steamy action of me and Cheeky Monkey in bed was us watching YouTube videos.
I was going to say, can we just clarify when he says we were watching in bed last night, he does mean him and Cheeky Monkey.
Yeah, we were. Oh yes,
yes.
She's sort of out here. No,
co-host duties do not extend that far.
I've lost my train of thought now after that thought. Yes, we were in bed last night. We were watching a YouTube video actually on. It was like a 2-hour documentary, like the history of Mortal Kombat games. And Cheeky Monkey was like, "Oh, I remember playing these when I was a kid." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I was like, "Oh, the figures are coming out." Oh, yeah, you can get those. They'll be fine. And then we started watching, and they were showing like all the different fatalities in the game. And then she's like, "Oh," she just kept getting actually horrified. And then she went, "Oh, it wasn't this I played. It was Street Fighter." So she was when she was seeing these horrific fatalities, she was like, "Oh no, I don't remember all these crazy things." So I was like, "Did you ever play this game?" And then we realised, no, she played Street Fighter. That was definitely more tame than Mortal Kombat when it comes to 90s action. So yeah, please let's make these good, Todd. So you've got your shelf, you've got the space made from me not collecting a DC Multiverse line anymore. So let's make these good, and hopefully we can enjoy some Mortal Kombat figures. So yes, good start from Todd on this one. And then, not to be outdone by every other company doing Turtles, Todd's doing some Turtles. So he's doing IDW. Now, I've got the IDW omnibuses. I've read the first volume. That's as much as I can tell you. So I've enjoyed that. So he's doing page punches. So we've seen lots of different versions of page punches. Now, page punches seems to mean different. Another thing of Todd, he's bloody confusing. If we've had 7-inch page punches, we had 3-inch page punches with no articulation, many little weird things. And now we've got 5-inch page punches. I can't tell if these are articulated or not, or they're just 5 points. So you will get the comic books with them, which is cool. And you've got interchangeable feet. So that's telling me the feet don't move because I can't see any articulation cuts apart from the shoulder and the hip. So they look like 5 POA to me. But I might be wrong. I don't think he's got any of these, all the Mortal Kombat stuff, unfortunately, in person at New York. So I don't know if they are 5 POA. I'm going to assume they're 5 POA. But Todd's in on Turtles.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of just an aesthetic, I like them. I think they look really good. And same as you, I've read the first omnibus. So I'd probably be in on these. It's a bit odd that again they're now a totally different page puncher scale. I agree, but I think I'll have to see them in hand or see at least prototypes before I make the decision, because the attach on feet, what's that about?
I don't know. It has to be the fact that they're literally just posed, articulated up.
Yeah,
they're just. But then if their knees don't bend,
how would it stand if they were? Yeah, yes, I'd have to. I think we'll have to wait and see.
No, you are right there. How would it stand if it's going to literally go at that angle now?
Yeah,
if it doesn't. Well, intrigued at least to see what happens, because I haven't got any representation of the IDW Turtles. Loyal Subjects did some ones and Tanner kept breaking. That's all I remember about that line. So I don't really know. There was a... I don't know. Anybody in the chat know anything about these? There was a... nice having a stream. We're taking photos. We're glad to be of entertainment. Now, I have run out of my beverage, so I'm going to go top up, and Adam will take you through the next topic of the evening. Now, he doesn't know what it is yet, and nor do I, so I'm going to click on the tab. We're going to show it, and what is he going to talk about?
Please don't be Power Rangers.
Okay.
Please
It's,
don't be
no,
Power
no,
Rangers.
it's not the Power Rangers. You have got Hasbro's Marvel Legends line, and their brand new reveal today. You've got... Well, so far, all they've shown, as far as I'm aware, is a Doctor Doom roleplay helmet. Good luck to you.
Jay's a brave man, leaving me to discuss a topic about a helmet and think that I'm going to be even remotely appropriate here, but we'll try not to get them demonetized. I really like it. I saw it this morning. It got shared in our group chat, and I think it looks brilliant. I think it looks really, really good. I'm not really into kind of the roleplay items much, but I think this is probably one that I absolutely could see just on a stand in the corner of the room, and I think it would look brilliant. I'm impressed with the detail. It even made me consider quite a short Doctor Doom, but like I think I'd be well up for going in cosplay as Doom, but just based on the helmet alone. So yeah, I was really pleased with this. I think this is a great reveal. Whether I'll actually pick it up or not, I think not. Maybe I might just admire it from a distance, but in terms of the quality and what it looks like, I thought it was really good. I think there'll be some other images that Jay can sort of scroll through, but were we all expecting a figure? I think I was hoping for a figure, which I think we'll still get, but in terms of the first reveal being a roleplay item, it wasn't exactly what I was looking forward to. But in terms of as an item, yeah, I really like it. I think it's a good quality. I was saying, wow. Jay, you were really brave leaving me in charge to discuss how many sentences and trying to use the word helmet in an appropriate manner. But no, we got through it, and I don't think I've said anything that'll shut your channel down.
I've tried to wet my hair quickly as well, and I've made myself sort of like something about Mary Ace Ventura, so it's gone well. I really could do with a haircut. So that was Adam's fault on the Doctor Doom helmet. I'm sure he's definitely buying one. It says MCM cosplay. I'm going to predict that's what he said. But oh my god, there's 33 images of this helmet. I could have given you the treat of showing you. There you are. Removable hood. Now, I do love Doctor Doom. He is my favourite Marvel character. So I actually do quite like this, but I don't collect these things. But if I did collect these things, I would buy that. So, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll buy it just to say I've collected helmets as well within the collection. Dan's given us all the information. The Legends should reveal something after 11 p.m. our time. So we've got another 2 hours till the Legends reveal anything.
Easy.
No problem. Not a problem at all.
Not a problem at all.
Right, so that was all we've had so far from Hasbro. I'll check Instagram and things as we go through. I think what we'll do, we'll go for all the tabs I've got open, and then we'll go back to Toy Arc and refresh Instagram, and we'll go from there after.
But I just quickly, I was saying the same as you. I don't really collect stuff like this, but as an item, I think this is brilliant. And in terms of like in a stand or even like a glass sort of snow globe display kit, I think this would look brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. It's probably going to be too expensive. It's about £120 usually, so not something I would purchase. But talking expensive, that will segue us perfectly into this thing then. Mondo Wolverine. Now, if you've seen this channel before, welcome back. There is 40 of you with us live, so that's a fantastic number tonight. So thank you, everybody, for being with us during the live stream. And if you've seen any videos before, you know I'm pretty much all in when it comes to Mondo, when it comes to X-Men, Spider-Man, and Batman. But I have not pre-ordered this as of yet. So this is the 10-day exclusive. I have done a separate video on the channel covering it. So you've got until... these American dates confuse me. So we've got until, the 7th or the 3rd? So you've got to the 7th of March to order this. Otherwise, you'll have to wait for the regular version later. Now, I haven't ordered it because I do have the original version. So this is definitely an upgrade. In terms of height, it's a downgrade. It made him shorter, but that's deliberate because they think he was probably too tall. Even though I don't think he was too tall when you scale him in with the rest of the figures. But yeah, he looks much better than the other one. But do I want to spend another £245? All the things I buy for... I don't know. I haven't done it yet. I have not done it yet. I don't think I will do it. That's my plan. I'm going to try and be strong. Just stick with the one I've got. Does come with the cool Sentinel head. If you haven't got a Wolverine, you're getting into Mondo. Get yourself on this one because he looks fantastic. He does look absolutely fantastic. But I bought so many bloody Hot Toys recently that pre-orders come through. I was like, oh, I don't think I can do it. I think I'm going to have to I'm going to get a bit of the FOMO, but I might have to live with FOMO here because I do have one. And yeah, so let's go to you. You haven't got one. Do you want one?
I mean, they're just a bit rich for my blood. I don't have the room or the money to get into a Mondo display. However, my appreciation for this is through the roof. This is a phenomenal figure. Like the additional, battle damage torso, the Sentinel X. This is a phenomenal figure. If you're just rating it as a figure, it is incredible. Surely Dan's got to get this. I mean, he went on and on about getting into... There we go. And just as he pops up on screen...
And if by magic, the choice of streaming.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I'm amazed you haven't ordered this. I know you were trying to offload the original on Craig, but I'm amazed that you haven't.
If anybody would like to buy the other one and I can just literally use that money to buy this one, then I will upgrade it. But I don't know how quickly I could sell it and
get it.
How much I could sell it for to do
it. The original is brilliant. I've seen the original of yours, and the original's a great figure. So if you were looking for one and you wanted it just maybe not quite at the full price of this, buy Jay's, because his is still a cracking figure. But yeah, this is phenomenal.
Mine does come with one accessory. This doesn't. So this comes with the enamel pin of the famous Jean Grey and Cyclops photo frame, but mine comes with the actual scaled accessory of it. So, and it has the big blue slash from the opening of the animated series. That this doesn't have. This has the other version. So, if I were to sell it, I'd still want those accessories. So therefore, I'll be selling it less than complete, and then you'd be tanking the value. So. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying not to crack because there is far too much. There's a bloody dragon coming up in the tab in a minute, so
yeah,
I'm gonna be strong. There was and yes, what we got. Like I say, unless of course anybody would like to help with the super chats tonight, and Justin Collects has done that indeed. He said hit that like button, people, for the $1.99 super chat. So thank you, Justin. As we said, we will tag team. We will hand over to Justin tonight. So make sure you go and follow his YouTube channel and you can see his live stream tonight where he will be going over all these same things, I'm hoping, and he will be going in depth on the Power Rangers line, which we will get to briefly later because that man has been, he's been in a bit of a tizzy recently trying to see what's going to be happening for the Power Rangers line. I've just dropped his link in the chat for you all there and we will give you the thank you for the super chat and you can have Dr. Doom. Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
And while we're there, is Dan breaking some news? Has somebody spoke to Todd then now while we've been on the air? Todd can still make superpowers in 2026, by the way, but wouldn't commit or wouldn't comment on Multiverse. So yeah, I definitely think the Multiverse is off, but maybe the 3 3/4 inch superpower stuff he's been doing then could potentially continue as part of the deal. Hello to CJ there. Let's give him more thoughts, of course, on the Mattel situation. And everybody else, of course, Cute Colt is here tonight as well. Yeah, it's what you were suggesting. Payment plan. Buy now, decide later. Well, Mondo's payment plans you see advertised there are not applicable to UK residents. So we can't use their payment plan. You've got to use debit, credit, or they don't take PayPal credit anymore either. They do take PayPal Pay in 3, but that will charge you the first payment of about £75 instantly. So I'm going to try and be good, but you're all trying to enable me here. See, Jeremy's straight in there to help for the Wolverine. Oh, yeah, they're all helping me now. Jeremy, thank you very much. The $5 super chat for the new Wolverine fund.
There you go. That's £70 that you've got to pay now, not 75.
Where we are, we're getting there. Thank you very much, Jonah. It's much appreciated. There, you're getting me a good mood. You can have a. Ooh, we're going to give you as the thank you. Let's have Mammy. Have a bit of wrestling tonight. Mammy can join us.
Thank you for the super chat.
Keeping Mammy happy there. Octane, hello. Had to pre-order the Mondo Wolverine. All in on the X-Men line. Now, oh, dear. I wish I hadn't done this segment. Now, I haven't even had the tab open. I've written a piece of paper here, like notes for what we need to talk about this evening. That's gone out the window. They've announced so much more since then. Oh dear. Well, I've still got some time to think about it. Anybody want to buy the other one? There was a. Oh, here comes another one. We're gonna stay on this segment tonight. The Mondo Wolverine Fund. Thank you very much to Mr. Dan who reviews. If you want his thoughts on New York, well, you can have his preview thoughts because he did a video with Rich just last night going through those. I'm sure he will give us a reaction to the Marvel Legends news during the evening if something happens, or during the morning, hopefully if something good happens. But he is helping with the Wolverine Fund. That man's got to fund his own Wolverine. So thank you, Mr. Who. Let's get the thank you for the super chat graphic up. You can have my favourite turtle, because that's the only one I've got on here, Leonardo.
Thank you for the super chat.
I can hear the police.
Yes, it's the perks of living right in the city centre, even a city as posh as Worcester.
Oh, well, okay. Jeremy's going, you need to show that Wolverine, the old Wolverine match, it's too tall. Oh, bloody hell. All right, okay.
Dan wants the money back. He's
forgotten his own one.
He's just realised he has to fund his own.
Now I'm wondering if Mr. Who could be the perfect person to sell it to, because he doesn't have any other Mondos and just needs a Wolverine. The other one would be perfectly fine.
It would.
So we'll drop the price. What do we offer it to Craig for? 175. We'll give it to Dan for 150. And he can have me accessory because I can at least go and see it at his house. And then I'll go for the more expensive one. We're doing live. We've got to get off this Wolverine tab.
That's a win-win.
I think
that's a win-win.
Oh, yes, but the other versions. It's the first release. The other version, it's rarer. What more can I say? Right. So let's jump to the next tab. This is going to get even bloody worse because on the next tab, well, look who's turned up for the next tab without even realizing the next tab is coming up. Cloud Foxwell is there. Because here is Bearthir, I do believe. So we are over on another co-host of Justin Collect's live stream and his own YouTube channel, which is Encounter Culture. Our good friend Kenny, the best voice in YouTube. I wish I had the tones of Kenny. He is at Zolocon today, and he has taken some pictures of the dragon that they have in person. So as I say, full coverage coming next week. I think it's Friday, as I said. When the dragon launches, we have to apply some new credit cards potentially in this house because Four Horsemen do not accept PayPal and do not have payment plans internationally usually. So we will see, because this thing, as I know, is $550, which, to be fair, for the size of it and the paint, I think that's actually okay price wise. It's just what am I going to pay internationally for shipping? And we're going to potentially, well, normally you will have the 20% import fee upon delivery as well, because it will be over the magic £135 price point. So this all in, I think, if you do the conversion now before shipping, I think it's £450. Add shipping probably takes it, I guess, to £550, and add 20% on, you're then in the region of £650, I would guess. So somewhere between 6 and 650, if shipping's reasonable, is what this will cost to the UK. But we will do, I say, full coverage next week on it. But it is in person, and it does look absolutely fantastic. And I know where it could go. So space for me is not an issue. It's just pricing. And you've all just told me to go and buy a bloody Wolverine. But I don't have a dragon. I do have a Storm Collectibles dragon, and I do have a Storm Collectibles dragon from Golden Axe. And I have pre-ordered Super 7 dragon. And then there's this dragon. So apparently I like dragons.
So when you say you don't have a dragon and then listed 2 that you've already got, you do have dragons.
Yeah. Okay. Cloud's trying to give me hope there that the shipping won't be too bad. So I'm just doing the maths here. Let's get a credit card interest-free 2 years. That's not too bad, is it? I don't know. This could be a big boy purchase. There was I think potentially. Jeremy's trying to put me off the drag. You can put off the dragon, Jay. They're doing different colours. I guess green is my preferred colour. I think green is my preferred colour of the dragon. It'd be green or red would be 2 colours. When I think of dragons in my head, I think of green or red. Now, D&D makes me think of red, but because this isn't D&D, I probably want it to be green. So, and I don't think they'll make one as big. I think this will be the biggest. So this, I'm seeing potentially as a toy investment piece, potentially. I think this is something I would like in the collection. It's a 3 to 6 foot dragon, depending on the things. It's absolutely massive. I think Cheeky Monkey, to be fair, likes this.
You're definitely getting this dragon. Like,
yes.
Let's stop messing about with any uncertainty in your tone of voice. You're definitely getting this dragon. Haven't you made a space for it already?
There is space, yes. The space is made. The space could be easily. It's a difficult space to undo. It's on top of the wardrobe where the Mythic leads are. We're going Hobbit. Smaug is red. He is. But again, because this is not Lord of the Rings, I don't want it to be red. So I like the green. So, and then the Damien's mentioned here, of course, the red dragon from Dungeons and Dragons, which I have got on pre-order. I don't know if I'll cancel it or not because it's a big old vinyl. But I have variations of dragons. I have the Golden Axe are just riding little dragons. They're like little pets. And then it's Liu Kang's Fatality is kind of a dragon, but it's not a dragon, if you get what I'm saying. It was I don't know. Would you like a dragon?
I mean, yes, of course I would. In terms of, again, like a piece, it's incredible. But I don't have a single Mythic Legion, nor do I have anywhere to put a Get Big dragon. So no, I will be coming round to your house and I will be admiring the one that you are definitely going to buy.
Right, okay. So I'm definitely buying a dragon. Cheeky Monkey is out for the evening, but she kind of did say she. Oh, what am I doing here? Gone to the wrong page there.
The minute Cheeky Monkey Kiara says she likes anything, that's the biggest green light you ever get. Don't you have? Isn't that how you got the C3PO Hot Toys? Wasn't that originally?
I'm still mad about that. Yes, because she told me to buy it. She generally told me to buy it. I was like, love, it's £400 bloody pound. So I think he is the most expensive toy in the collection. It's Hot Toys C3PO, but she saw how shiny it was. So, I don't know. I'm torn on the dragon here. I would really like the dragon. I'm very, very tempted to buy a dragon. But you're all now telling me to buy a Wolverine. I think I can buy a Wolverine and a dragon in the same week because you probably get like, Wolverine's 200. This is probably 600. So can I spend £800 in 1 week on 2 toys? Well, I don't know. We will wait and see. We will wait and see. Right. Now, talking of something else that has been announced. This was big news. So where are we? Still on Toy Arc. We are still on Toy Arc because Mask. Right, Mask is back. So Adam is here for full Mask coverage. He is my Mask expert for the evening. So loyal subjects are bringing back Mask, licensed, I do believe, from Hasbro. Now, of course, for those who don't know, it was an 80s cartoon. It has a fantastic theme tune. I can't play it because they'll probably demonetize me. But would you like to sing it for me?
or surely the people who know, and I will do it no favors, but yes, it's the most 80s theme song you'll ever hear for a cartoon. But essentially, Mass Crusaders are working overtime, fighting crime. But yes, go and listen to the Mask theme
Come
song.
on, we give it a bit more. We need to give it that motion.
Aren't
We that
you
Mass
There we
Crusaders.
go.
There we go. There we go. That's as much as I'm giving you. Singing live, but it has a fantastic theme tune. Now, I've not watched as much of it as I've watched G.I. Joe, but as I've been going through the Sunbow G.I. Joe, I have been watching over the years episodes of Mask on YouTube, because you can find them on YouTube. So it's not a toy line I ever had as a kid. It was one I was aware of, but I was never into cars, really. I wasn't a fan of cars, so I didn't even kind of bother with it. But I'm a massive fan of cartoons, you see. And I have a weakness for a 90s or especially an 80s cartoon. So we've got He-Man in here, we've got G.I. Joe, we've got little Transformer things. I've got Gargoyles, Spider-Man the animated series, Batman the animated series, anything animated, I'm in for. If I watch that cartoon, Turtles. So yeah, so this potentially has got me. But then I saw the prices, so maybe I won't be as excited as I first was, because these are in the original scale then. So the figures are 2.75 inch, so not 3 3/4, 2 3/4 inches. I do have figures they could scale with, kind of, because I've got the Super 7 reaction stuff for G.I. Joe and Transformers. So on the shelf next to that, I think these would look quite nice. Then I started thinking, actually, displaying on the shelf might be quite tricky, because you can see on the table here, you need sort of the depth and the width because of the size of the vehicles here. But I do like the upgrades they've made to the figures themselves. They've added some articulation in there. You've got articulated knees and you've got ball joints in the shoulders. There has been more coverage today. They have said in the video I saw, you've got to put the stickers on yourself. So I'm not as impressed with that, because I'm not very good with putting stickers on. Stickers on straight, but they do look fun. So they all have a different mask. They're fighting Venom. So you've got the main villain and his helicopter. You've got Matt Tracker here and his main car. The car names Adam will take you all through in a second, I am sure. But it's a fun little line. Now, I know people potentially would want these as a 6-inch figure. There's no reason Hasbro couldn't do them to go with G.I. Joe Classified in exactly a similar scale. But I thought, this is on a smaller scale. It won't be a massive collection to do. Well, eventually it could be a massive collection to do. It would look kind of cool. I've seen the Boulder Hill playset at so many toy fairs. Yeah. That's always intrigued me. And I've watched a good few YouTube reviews on the old Boulder Hill playset, which is bloody massive, by the way. So I like scaling stuff with old playsets in the background. I've got an old Mumra sort of tomb in the back of my display for Thundercats. I've got the G.I. Joe, the Ghostbusters firehouse in the background. So I think, this with Boulder Hill in the background. So you've got
you've got a Wayne Manor as well. That's a really cool one.
He knows my collection better than me. That is true. I've got a Wayne Manor scaled in with the Batman stuff. So I'm kind of intrigued by these. It's such a fun cartoon that they could have me. So the whole shebang, I've put them up a bit early in the UK, so they're not supposed to be up till July. They're going to be sold on Big Bad Toy Store, they've had said. So price point wise, I think the bike is about $30. The car is $50. The plane is $75, and the big truck is $100. It's $99.99. It's $100. So you're adding up the whole wave. You're already in the mid $250, $270 range just for the 4 vehicles you see on the screen, and that's all being released at once. So it's going to be a much more expensive line than I was thinking. 2-inch figures with some cars. Probably the bike's about 15, the car's about 25, that's about 30, and that's about 50. But they're at least double what I thought they were going to be. I know loyal subjects have had QC issues when it comes to the Turtles, because I know our friend Tanner has had issues. So I don't know how they're quite going to come out. They do look good in prototype form. They have said that the figures here are the hand-painted prototypes, so the faces will be plastic when the final figure comes out. So it won't be a painted flesh tone like the ones you see here, but they do come with the mask. You had your main villain there. You got the variant version of Matt Tracker and all the different helmets, all the different masks, I should say. So I don't know. It's a fun little line, but I think it's going to be a bit pricey. But I'm still quite intrigued by it. But we've already, I don't know. The thing I'm taking from Toy Fair so far is collecting is bloody expensive. So I know you had some of these as a kid. So I'm going to hand over to you for full details on the mask line.
It's a weird one, mask. I think it was at the time when it was out. It was probably one of the main like cartoons and lines that I collected. So I had, funnily enough, I had all of them. So, God, the plane. I'm not. So Rhino's the big truck. Thunder Hawk, I think, is the car. Condor's the bike. The bloody plane.
So I mean, the chat will know.
Switchblade, or maybe, or something like that, because it's Miles Miles Mayhem. I'm sure is the.
It's the leader of the Venom team.
Yeah, he's the Venom.
Yeah.
So yeah, but unlike, whereas other lines have sort of carried on, you know, like Thundercats, He-Man, Turtles, they've all been a constant sort of presence over the years since the 80s. So the 80s cartoon, but then they've all carried on either in sort of like sometimes comic or, you know, new versions of the cartoon or figure lines, or this was just of its age. That's it. Like this and Visionaries are probably two that just came along. They were there in the 80s and then that's it. They disappeared. So as much as it is quite nostalgic for me, I don't think I'm as much of a fan as I am of things like Masters of the Universe and Turtles and Thundercats, because they've just been a constant presence in my life. But this really hits the nostalgia. Switchblade, there we go. This really hits the nostalgia button. But when this was announced, I was hoping for a 6-inch line, although given the price that these have come out as, I'm now quite glad it's not a 6-inch line, because that would be crazy. But you are right, the price has taken me aback a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
they did.
yeah.
I've seen a video on YouTube tonight where they went through the pricing in dollars of what they're going to be on Big Bad Toy Store. They're a little bit cheaper when you can convert them down to pounds, it seems.
Yeah.
The big truck's 80 on the whole shebang, so that you're scaling down from there. But it's not going to be a cheap as long as I thought. But they've always said that vehicles are more expensive to produce. I know Super 7 do say that. I don't quite know what Brian Flynn is saying sometimes, but vehicles are more an expensive thing to do, and sometimes it is just as expensive to make smaller figures, it seems, as it is bigger figures, because the vintage collection is going up in price.
Yeah, so. But it's tough because I haven't seen the originals, and I don't want to remember the originals as being so much better than they are, because I haven't seen them for like 30 years. But some of them don't look that much different. Like I know some of the figures have got sort of extra
I can help you there, because I've seen a video.
Oh,
they've pretty much said the vehicles are exactly the same engineering.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So
they are exactly. They're just modern paint, slight tweaks, but they are pretty much the same.
Because surely they must have been able to, if they've acquired the line, surely they must have been able to acquire the sort of the specifications and and even some of the molds if they were still. But yeah, to sort of just reproduce something that already exists, they haven't had to redesign it. They haven't had to put any money into that. It's just pumping something out that already exists.
They've added blast effects into the back of the vehicles, or flame effects into all the vehicles and things. They did say. I'm guessing those old modes from the 80s aren't around anymore, and they've just literally tried to tool it off there and had to pay for all the tooling themselves. And again, I suppose Loyal Subjects is a much smaller company than Hasbro when it comes to that sort of thing. Because why haven't Hasbro done this? I guess Hasbro don't think there's a market out there, because they could have just done this themselves, or at least brought, as I say, some of the characters in to G.I. Joe or a similar 6-inch figure line. So they just must not think surely there's a market out there for masks.
And I am a bit worried, because I think it is, like I said, because it hasn't remained in the consciousness the same as some of the other lines from the time. And at that price, I think this might be a bit of a tough sell.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know a lot of the Loyal Subject stuff does go on discount here, so maybe I think if these did come out cheaper, I've got a shelf I could put them. I always thought actually it would quite be fun to hang some of them off the ceiling if they're a little sort of fun vehicles. So I'm intrigued by the line. Again, being more of a figure person.
To be fair, if they're exactly the same, you could just go and scour eBay.
You could, yeah. I think Damien mentioned that in the chat. I did look at a Boulder Hill this morning, so it was around the £200 price point for one that was complete, and not in the greatest of conditions I've seen.
Right.
Problem is, I a thing for old vintage figures. I like these upgraded figures, so if they could just do figure packs, and I could go out and find the vintage vehicles.
Yeah, that would be a good. Good idea.
Now you potentially might have me if they could just do little figure packs to go with them, but I guess they're probably not going to do that because they want you to buy your vehicles. So I'm intrigued by it, but I don't know. I just love that theme tune. That theme tune just sticks in my head.
Yeah, it is brilliant. Everybody in the chat, especially those who are too old for the 80s, are too young for the 80s. Sorry, go and listen to the Mask theme song because it's quintessential.
It is on YouTube. It's great. So yeah, I think Miles Mayhem would look really good as a 6-inch figure. I could see them.
I mean, as a 6-inch line, this would have been really, really good. But yeah, if that's the kind of price for Rhino, if that's like £100 at this size, 6-inch would have been crazy money.
Yeah, and there's Cloud saying there in the chat, it is streaming 24/7 on YouTube. I know Hasbro do put their cartoons there out, which is where I've been watching some of them. So I'm tempted, but I don't know if I'm priced out with the other things I buy. And just as I say, because displaying on a shelf might be a little difficult because of the size and the width they would take up. You probably need more of a table display to do that properly. But I do like the concept of mass being back. But then, of course, if it doesn't sell, it just teaches companies there is no interest, even though maybe there is. And then we might not get any more. So that is Mask. But now we're going to go on to, Justin Collects was here earlier with us in the chat. And, he's been waiting for this. We know Mr. Who's been waiting for this. It is time to discuss Playmates Toys, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Reignition.
This is my time. This is my time to bow out and go and get another drink now, because I know absolutely all about Power Rangers.
Right. As Adam goes and tops up his cheese and beverage, well, here we are then. So we have finally the reveals of the Playmates line. And, how am I going to phrase this? How am I going to phrase this nicely? They're a little childlike, potentially, is how I would word it. There was that's old Justin. Oh, poor Justin. Poor Justin. I can't wait to see him this evening. So the figures are in, I think they said, a 5 1/4 inch scale. So for those wanting to fudge in with your Lightning collection, I think they're going to be too short. But they are doing Babu in Squat. So we don't have Babu in Squat in the Lightning collection. And I don't collect the Lightning collection. I sold it years ago and I moved on to Super 7. So as I was showing my pickup earlier, my Power Rangers representation is the Super 7 stuff, because I wasn't bothered about articulation, and I think the sculpts were much better than the Lightning collection when it came to Super 7. They were just a bit too expensive. But they seem to have stopped pretty much with the Super 7 stuff, because again, I don't know if Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is just not selling as well as it used to over 30 years on. But we haven't got Babu and Squat in that line, so we could do with them. And I think my honest thoughts, as a children's toy line, I think these are pretty cool. If I had these when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, I think I'd have a lovely time with these. So could it introduce the next generation into Power Rangers potentially? But is there a market out there for a 30-year-old property, a nostalgia property at this point, for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? Now, there have been the more modern seasons. They kept changing throughout the years, but the classic original season here this is the flip heads, of course, harking back to the original line. These look utterly atrocious. Now, the original flip heads, they're always a bit more chunky, but the torsos are just huge. Now, all it has is a flip head mechanism, so I have no idea why the torso needs to be that wide. Because seeing if you go to Pixel Dan's channel, he has a video on there going through the whole product range. It's about 5 minutes. That's probably the best video to check out that I've seen on YouTube going through all these. I don't know why they have to be so wide though. They look so weird. These flip heads. The packaging shown at the back there. I know. I think Dan was waiting for potentially if it had the original sort of triangular packaging, something retro to pull you in. Clearly not. They have gone for their own modern packaging design, so that's not going to help for the retro collectors out there. The face sculpts, to be fair, especially on the Black Ranger, there aren't too bad for like a, as I say, a cheaper children's toy line. So the face sculpts are good. The proportions are atrocious. I'm not one for figure proportions. I'm not bothered by figure proportions usually, but this is a step beyond for some of these flip heads. But we can get past the flip heads. I don't know. Oh dear. Here we go then. So here's the non-flip head figures. So these are the ones we've had the silhouettes for, and they are now being shown. So they've got very weird legs and knees. Now, for some reason, they've cut the knee joint under the bottom of the knee, which is making the top bit of the leg look even more elongated, which is very, very strange cut they've gone for. Now, these, I was thinking these are more of the adult collectible line, but I think it was actually from JC at TMNT Toy News, who is there and has spoken to them and said they have no intention currently, no current plans to do an adult collector line. So pretty much saying that these are effectively a children's line. So if that's what they are, that's what they look like. And I say for a kids line, I think if I was like 8 or 9, I would have fun with these because I had a Red Ranger as a kid. You can see it's that ball jointed hips. It bloody is, isn't it? Ball jointed hips and everything under there. Fantastic. There's your box in the back again. No retro throwback really with the box. So underwhelming is the word that's coming to mind with these. But again, I think all I can say is what I've said a couple of times already. For a kids line, they look good for a kids line. I'd enjoy these as a kid, but as an adult collector line, I think you're shit out of luck. Now there's bikes. And if you go to Pixel Down's video, you squeeze the back of the bike and the Ranger flips forward off the bike on this attached prong, and you can do this forward and back flippy motion. So it's got a play feature. You can see it there, flip into battle. It's very weird. They did say that all the aliens, the Baboon Squad, have play features, so they might have spring-loaded arms. So I think, oh dear. Now Justin's going off down there. What's he saying? The biggest issue is they're pushing Emma to be on the kids, and kids don't care, which is what I've just effectively said there. So Justin's in agreement. Is there a children's market for a retro property in this way? It's not like MMPR's in the zeitgeist currently, not like Marvel, which has kept, like you're saying with Mass stopped, but Power Rangers changed over the years. So if I went to my daughter with these, I think she'd be like, "What the hell is this?" She wouldn't,
because they've obviously they've done that. They've done that throughout history where they've launched a toy line, but then they've also always done like an accompanying, like I think both Transformers and He-Man, the cartoons were done, weren't they, to sell the toys? It wasn't the other way around. It wasn't that the toys were released based on the cartoon. They specifically did the cartoons to sell the toys. But so are they doing any new, like, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers stuff?
Oh, well, Dan's literally just come in on that point. So they've announced today that they're re-releasing Power Rangers on Netflix and YouTube with updated AI. So
then I think this makes sense because they've used this model throughout toy history.
That would make sense, and that there is potentially where your market is. Now I have famously watched some of MMPR because it was on Netflix without any changes to it, and I watched it with Cheeky Monkey. And I explained the fact that all the other footage was sort of the Sentai footage from Japan, and it was chopped into the American footage. And she had no idea. Her mind was blown because she used to love Power Rangers as a kid, and she couldn't tell that all the Zord scenes were separate stuff, and they were reusing it. So her mind was blown, and it forever ruined Power Rangers for her when she realised she'd been conned and tricked as a kid, and it wasn't all filmed separately. So she wasn't very impressed with that. But again, for a kids line, they look fun. So I think you'd struggle to fit these in, though, unfortunately, if you were trying to mix your lines to put them in the Lightning collection. Because I say you could put them in the back of your shelf, but then you wouldn't see them because they're going to be bloody shorter anyway. Well, I don't like the Megazord because there's this massive honking gap on the feet when the Megazord is. Look at the size of this gap. What's that about? So the fact you can buy them all separately, they have said the price point is going to be, I think, $18.99 for each one of the separate Megazord pieces. So even the bigger ones and the smaller ones are all priced the same. So that's okay. But it looks very wonky, the prototype here that they've got on the legs. So there's better Megazords out there for adults. But again, it's a fun kids line. But unfortunately for you, Power Rangers Lightning Collection, I think your hopes may be dashed now, because they're fun little minis you could put in the Megazords into scale. If you'd like to do some role play, you can get your helmet. So, yeah, I think that is my summary. What else can I say? They're trying to redo the original figures. Excuse me, they did say over there. And again, they cut them under the knees, which looks a bit weird in the modern sensibility. But that is 43 images of Power Rangers. There's little minis there. You can get yourself some more role play blasters. So if you want a kids line, you're in. But I think your adult collector days are over. So what other options have you got for Power Rangers collectors out there? Mezco have done a very nice looking box set, but you're not going to get any villains. And they're going to be redoing the original figures a bit later. So
those knees are odd.
Yeah. I don't know. What's the chat saying? Let me have a look. Anybody excited by these?
Justin's not happy. I think Dan's kind of going along the lines of what I was saying, yeah, it's obviously a push to get a new generation, and if they're redoing the show on Netflix, hoping that'll link in and sell it. So Justin's like, the children of collectors is a niche inside a niche inside a niche. I mean, that is real niche.
that is the triple niche you can go into there. So yeah, well, I won't be purchasing these. So I think I purchased my last Power Rangers figures with Lord Drac on there, and yes, Super 7 can give me Babu and Squat. And I've got myself an old play set in there because I got the command center, the vintage one, in the back of the display. So for me, I'm happy, but I know our good friends that are into Power Rangers are probably not going to be the happiest bunnies in the world, but I'm sure they'll still buy some of them just for the crack. Well, here we go then. Well, what I can say is, oh, what a rush. So here we go then. So we're going to jump over to some wrestling goodness, because out of absolutely nowhere, in full Randy Orton mode, Ringside Collectibles have brought back classic superstars. So the long-awaited return of technically Jack's classic superstars, in a way, has been brought back here by the unsanctioned line, they're calling it, from Ringside Collectibles themselves. So Jax used to have the wrestling license till Mattel took over many a year ago now. And, well, they're back. We don't quite know who's making these. I can't see. I've not watched any reviews yet. They look potentially like the Jazzwares bodies, so the AEW Jazzwares bodies, but they are pinless. So they are more like the Supreme version of the Jazzwares figures, if that is who's making them. But I can't see any Jazzwares logos on there. But they've definitely either used the same factory. And, of course, Jeremy Padawa, that runs the Jazzwares side of things, of course, was the manufacturer of Classic Superstars, because he used to run Jack's Pacific as well. So there's definitely something insider going on there. Maybe Jeremy's got a bit of a side hustle going on with Ringside Collectibles. So they've launched their own toy line, the RSC Unsanctioned. But for me, this means what else can we get in this line? I am one very excited wrestling collector. I've said that wrestling is my favorite line, and stuff from the 80s and the 90s is my favorite wrestling. So to get people that are not signed to WWE Legends deals by Mattel, this news effectively means there could be a lot of people we could see out there. So I could speculate for days and days who we're going to see in this line, but I'm effectively telling you right now, I'm probably going to buy every single damn one of them. So the man joining me this evening, not a modern wrestling fan, but quite the fan, I do believe, of classic wrestling Indeed. So here is the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, figures that have not been released in Mattel for 10 years because they have not got LOD under Legends deals because of the pure fact they pretty much sued WWE when they were alive. So I don't think they'll be signing Legends deals, which I've told Adam anytime soon. So he was shit out of luck. And then out of nowhere, an independent, of course, have signed them. These scale perfectly from pictures with the Mattel figures. So if you want to mix these in with your Mattels, you feel free because they absolutely work perfectly. And there is a variant, a version Mattel have never done, the sort of 1997 version, I would say, of the Road Warriors with the silver armor on. So I, for one, have ordered this because I already have the red versions. Luckily, I had them when they were first released from the Mattel line. So I've got the red versions. I didn't need the red versions, but this is a dream figure set for me. This variant version of LOD, absolutely fantastic. Now I'm going to hand over to Adam because he may have joined me in this purchase.
I did. So I don't know if you will even remember this, Jay, but one of the first conversations that you and I ever had, kind of outside of the main group, was I wanted advice about building like a classic wrestling, because it was I was obsessed. Like when I was a kid, I stopped being into wrestling when I started boxing, and because I used to think wrestling was real. And so when I thought it was actually real fighting, I was really into it. And then I got old enough and realised it wasn't, and I sort of went off it a little bit. But at the time when I was into it, I was obsessed. Like I've got pictures of me going to see it in Newcastle with like the Ultimate Warrior face paint on, and me and my friend are doing the pose, and in the background on the wall there's a bloody Ultimate Warrior poster. So I was right into it. And I had all the original wrestling toys, but then I just, once I got out of it, I let all of that go. So I spoke to you in the chat and I gave you a list of names, and I was like, right, this would be my ideal. And that's when we talked about LOD, and you were like, look, it's going to cost you a fortune. And because my 4 quintessential would be Hogan, Warrior, and Legion of Doom. And without those in the collection, I just never wanted to start it, because I was like, well, it'll just always feel incomplete. So when this came along, I mean, it's going to be expensive because now I'm going to need like Hogan, Warrior, Rick Rude, Mr. I mean, it goes on and on, but yeah, now I'm going to need like a late 80s collection.
That won't be a problem because there's plenty of Hogans available. There is a Rick Rude currently out. There's a Mr. Perfect due soon, so I can guide you through your wrestling journey. But I did remember that. That's why I shared this instantly, and then you said you're in.
Yeah, straight away.
Because I thought, he might want to split the postage, because they work out with postage just over the price you see on the screen, effectively converted to pounds. Otherwise, the postage can be in about £36 from or $36 from Ringside Collectibles. So splitting it is not bad indeed. And they got dispatched this morning, sir, and will be here on Thursday via FedEx. So we will have these in our hand next week. Adam's wrestling collection has started. And these were literally a 10-minute sellout.
I'm going to tell you a little story about Jay's level of expertise. When I was a kid growing up, I used to have a poster on my wall of Ultimate Warrior. And even when I got out of I left wrestling because he was in great shape. I kept the poster for a while up on the wall. And then I was randomly on Instagram. I was scrolling through Instagram, and on somebody's wrestling figure collection post on Instagram, I spotted that they'd done a figure of the Ultimate Warrior in the exact outfit, face paint and colours of my poster. They must have done 100 Ultimate Warrior photographs. I sent Jay a screenshot of that Instagram. He came back in about 3 minutes telling me which Ultimate Warrior figure it was, what series it was from, and then he'd found the listing on eBay as well. And he was like, there you go. So I had it bought within about 5 minutes of sending him the picture. That's like a top tier level of expertise. That.
Well, it's as I said, it is my favourite line. So I'm a bit like a wrestling encyclopedia. So we will now transition into Mattel then, because they've had a bucket ton of reveals that have been announced at the start of New York Toy Fair. We haven't seen all of it on the show floor yet, but let's go into the modern era then. So the next series, so to shout out Alex West Collect here on Instagram, fellow YouTuber as well. He has got all the pictures up, so we will just go through these quickly. So we have the next Ultimates and the Royal Rumble winner. If you'd like to see the most viewed live stream in the history of the channel, it is this year's Royal Rumble commentary stream as we were up through the night. And Jey Uso won the Rumble to much dismay from our good friend Lorenz that was there at the event. But Jey Uso is the winner, so he has got an Ultimate Edition. I don't have a Jey Uso Ultimate Edition, so I will be picking this one up potentially. Drew McIntyre is also getting an Ultimate. This potentially back to our earlier chat with DC and the Mattel license. So this is potentially what you could expect from the Mattel DC license, because you see these Ultimate Editions. These are the peak of the WWE figures. And look at the muscles there, Adam.
Look
you
at,
could
yes,
receive.
exactly.
So,
now, that looks like a superhero physique to me.
So, Drew McIntyre, could he be the next Batman when it comes to Adam's collection? Find out in a year's time. They won't reuse the sculpts from WWE. They'll make something unique, I'm sure, for DC, but you can see what they're capable of doing here. You've got the butterfly joints as well. You've got your torso rockers. You've got drop-down hips. You've pinless arms now. It's all pinless arms in WWE line. They've still got pin knees on some of them. They haven't fully gone up yet, but you've got your interchangeable heads. You've got your hands. You've got your coat. This retails at £30 here in the UK for this as well. So,
to be fair,
hope for DC.
To be fair, a lot of the McFarlane ones were creeping up to that kind of price anyway, weren't they?
So, I think it could be something good when it comes to DC and Mattel. And I see people were comparing those DCs to the old Mattels, but I think you should be more comparing it to this line than
definitely
the other. So that's potentially what you could see for that. So there's Drew McIntyre, one I will definitely be picking up because I want that entrance coat from last year's WrestleMania. And we got Jimmy Uso, his twin brother, with a No Yeet shirt. That one I will not be picking up. And we'll go over to a new Ultimate Edition of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So this one, again, for Adam, this is a buff increase. So this is the new, brand new mold, thicker torso of Stone Cold. Because Stone Cold has been too skinny within the Mattel line. They realized that. We have a brand new body buck for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Again, you've got all your interchangeable accessories, beer can, fingers, handcuffs, shorts, brand new knee brace there as well with a double strap at the bottom. So that's new. So I'd definitely be purchasing this Stone Cold. Now, Attitude Era, still too late for you, didn't you? You were out by then?
Yeah, far too late for me. But late for me, but I was obviously, it was huge. So I'm aware of all of the sort of wrestlers from it. I don't think it would make my collection, but yeah, obviously I'm still a big like. If ever you watch any like old stuff on YouTube, I'll sometimes watch some Attitude Era because it was.
Well, you can watch quite a lot now on your Netflix.
On
Not
Netflix,
only can you watch Power Rangers, you can now watch wrestling. So all the old school, even your old school early 90s stuff, it should all be on there soon. It's not quite all on there yet, but you can go back and watch nearly every pay-per-view ever. So you can reignite your wrestling flames on Netflix to spark that collection. So now we're going to go into the bloodline then. Now this is probably the quickest turnaround in toy history. Jacob Fatu debuted in WWE in June of last year, and it's March, and there's his figure. So it's less than a year. They said they fast-tracked the bloodline because of the importance of the storyline. And oh my God, I'm going to get a Jacob Fatu figure. Couldn't be happier. Finally going to get a Jacob Fatu figure. But not just him, Tama Tonga as well. We're going to literally complete the bloodline in the same wave. So Elite 118 has been shown here. Probably be about 2 more months till these come out because Mattel churn these Elite waves out literally one every 6 weeks. So again, if DC came out at this pace, then get your wallets ready, people. But Tama Tonga as well. Solo Sikoa, again, with soft goods and things. So, again, good things, I think, to come for the DC line. And a fantastic Nia Jax. Very much like this Nia Jax. Loved the head sculpts. I like the white outfit. First time having a fully pinless, I think, Nia Jax here as well. So, yeah, and that Adam's going to have no idea what I'm talking about, but Nia Jax looks fantastic, and she will be the Chase variant as well. So you're not going to get rid of chases when it comes to Mattel. So they do love a good chase and a Build-A-Figure. But so we got the Chase Nia Jax in the red, but I think I prefer the Queen of the Ring outfit there in the white. So literally a full wave I'll be picking up from this wave. There is also a John Cena somewhere with a funny entrance robe on, but it wasn't in those images. Next free pack coming, of course. Virtual Dave is with me there. Nigel's looking good. Hello to Virtual Dave. 3-pack come in. So we're going to have a suited Triple H. So we've finally got a modern sort of COO Triple H. And we've got R-Truth and The Miz for the first time in the line for the brand new Raw Tag Team title belts. So another one I need to add to the collection because I need all the belts from all the eras. So this will be an absolute pickup for me. Hopefully it comes to Smith's and they will nicely discount it for me. But you get the little stage there where they put the belts on. Bit of a weird Miz face cult, which I think somebody is memeing in the Instagram chat there, and the new R-Truth as well. So for me, a very random box set from the moment they were given the tag team titles on Raw, but one I would definitely be picking up. Adam has no idea what he's looking at here.
Not a clue.
Right, something he knows at least. So there is Razor
yes.
Ramon.
Yeah.
So if you're going to need a Razor Ramon, which you will do, this is his 4th Ultimate Edition. So this is the greatest hits of the Ultimate Edition. But this time they've changed his outfit color again. So we've had the original yellow, we've had the purple version, we've had the Scott Hall version, and now we're getting the green version. So they've effectively done this figure already in the Elite line in the Target exclusive 3-pack from like the 96 era of Monday Night Raw. So I have that Elite. So I don't need the Ultimate Edition of this one. But Adam, you might actually need this. So.
I think that, again, I think it might just be a little bit too late for me, Razor Ramon. But I think I remember maybe his really early stuff before he sort of came to... Because he became quite prominent, didn't he? I'm sure didn't he have some great like matches with... Was it Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels?
It was Shawn. It was Shawn. WrestleMania 10, you're thinking. So that was 1994.
Yeah, so
he
my last
did main event the 93 Royal Rumble against Bret Hart.
My last WrestleMania was probably... Which one did the Warrior come back and he get skinny?
WrestleMania 8. That was 1992.
That, and I didn't watch it past that.
Okay, so
watch one skinny Warrior came back.
You were literally 6 months away from Razor Ramon then, effectively. There was so he might not quite make Adam's collection. He won't make mine either because I have the version, and I don't think the re-release of Roman Reigns is going to quite tickle Adam's fancy either. Apart from his very buff body, which has given him hope for this DC multiverse line.
Yeah, that is definitely.
So that was that wave. That was that. Is there any? I think that was pretty much it for the wrestling stuff. I guess anything else is broken since we've been on there. So we will move on then. Another tab gone through. How are we doing? 2-hour mark we've just hit, ladies and gentlemen. So the 2-hour mark, we're still with us. And we've still got 40 people with us in the chat. If anybody would like to join a channel membership, feel free. So yes, the link is in the description. If you'd like to, the join button is there. If you'd like to join a channel membership, help support the channel and keep us in toy business in 2025. I think it's about $2.99 to get all the emojis in the chat. Or I think it's about $6.99 for the wedding fund and those behind the scenes videos, including Adam below me in my garage, standing on some bed raisers. So if you want to know what that's about,
below him.
Yes, even fully raised. Now then, it's turtle time, people. So it's turtles. 2 hours in, and we're just getting to turtles. We closed some of the tabs here. So Wolverine Mondo. We won't mention that anymore. That's closed. Power Rangers is gone. The wrestling is gone. So turtles. When is Marvel Legends Shane Shooter? I don't believe they're going to announce anything to at least another hour. So we may not get to any more Marvel Legends today. We did cover the roleplay helmet. Unless you know anything else or anybody in the chat, let us know any live updates from Toy Fair. Get them in the chat because we're going through all the tabs that we can do. And I'm sure if you're joining us on the replay as well, which I'm sure a lot of you will do, welcome. I hope you've been here for the first 2 hours of the replay, but we are still live and hoping to entertain you whatever you're doing with your toys. So, right. Turtles, Super 7 and 2003. So often hailed now as the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon. It's not one I've seen fully. I have seen the sort of movie when they go back and meet the original sort of 80s Turtles, which has given me an idea of where to display these. because it is a series I would like to get into and watch the rest of it, because I do like a good cartoon. So here we go then with the images for Wave 2 of the 2003 Turtles. So Wave 1 effectively is all 4 brothers. So if you've got all 4 brothers, well, you're going to need some more people to go with them. So I remember selling the original line. I've got some nostalgia for this. It was selling the 2003 line because I started my first job in 2003 at Woolworths in the toy department, and I was selling the original line of these turtle figures. So I remember selling them, but I didn't watch the cartoon at the time because I was trying to swoon the ladies at that time in my life as a 16-year-old. So Casey Jones then in the red, then he wears in this show. So he's in the red, and you've got all the standard accessories you'd expect to see with Casey Jones: 2 bats, a golf club, and a hockey stick, and the unmasked head as well. These are all sort of render images. Now they have some on the floor. I think there's a reel on Super 7's Instagram page where Brian does go through the sort of prototype outputs. And they do look pretty much the same as what we're seeing. Hopefully in production they'll look as good as these. So I do think, spoiler, these look pretty good. So we got the Foot Ninja there as well in the black outfit from that series. Again, looking good. And new articulation is what they're touting for this line, of course. So they have gone double pinless joints. Double pinless joints when it comes to this. So they always have single joints at Super 7, but they've finally listened and have added double joints to the figures for the 2003. And we have Shredder then as well. So Shredder does look really cool from this design. I do believe Krang I believe he might be a robot, and Krang's actually inside him. But I need to watch the fully show to actually fully realize that. But I do believe that to be the case. But there is Shredder, and he looks just like I thought, nice and buff as Adam would like him. So, and again, articulation. If it can do that, that's pretty good for a Super 7. And to round out the wave, we do have Splinter then. So Splinter, a couple of head sculpts, Little Rat, and all 4 turtles then, in a much smaller scale. If you order direct from Super 7, you get a bundle of the sort of extra Utron there, another sword, a hand, and a different hair sculpt, effectively, for Casey Jones. But you're probably going to get stung with import fees if you order direct from Super 7 in the UK. Comic and Cocktails have said they will put these up as soon as possible. But I will be ordering all of these. Definitely all in on this wave. Super 7 does tend to end up in a sale in the UK. So I don't know if I'm going to pre-order them or just wait for them to come out. I have ordered the actual turtles just to make sure I got a set, but I'm not going to go massively deep with this cartoon. So apart from, well, potentially, who do I need that isn't here? Probably just April. And then that'll do me for these 8, 9, 10 figures. Nice little sort of small half cube. I think this could be nice, but I thought potentially I could put these in my sort of Donnie's diorama from NECA, Donnie's Lab, because they do travel back in the show and see the turtles from the 87 cartoon. They can potentially go there, or I'll put them somewhere else, but I'm definitely going to be buying these. I'm actually quite impressed with these. I think these look really good. Now, Adam, I don't actually know if he's a turtle person or not, so we'll find out.
I am a turtle person, but I'm a turtle original movie and the comics rather than the cartoons. The original sort of the original Turtles cartoon, I watched that as a kid, but but more so the comics and the first Turtle movie. However, I'm bloody buying some of these because that Shredder is fantastic, and I quite like the Casey Jones as well. So yes, 100%, I'm buying that Shredder. Like same as you, because it's Super 7. Probably won't pre-order it, and will hope that I can kind of pick it up in the sale sometimes. But I'm definitely getting that Shredder. That just looks like a great figure. What was the line that came out where you'd never watched the cartoon, and then the line came out and you went and watched the cartoon and ended up buying all the?
Oh, that's happened quite a lot. Dungeons and Dragons, that's happened. Right, so that's a line I hadn't bought until I'd watched the cartoon. Mask would be one of them going forward, potentially. G.I. Joe, technically, I went back and watched the cartoon and bought the figures. That was my main line. That's caused me nearly an entire wall of figures. So it's happened quite quite repetitively when me and Cuz. See, I got a thing for cartoons. That's why that mask stuff is so tempting. I'm just a bit concerned by the price point. But no, I'm surprised you're being on Street Sharks. Thank you, Craig. That's the actual answer to the question.
Yes,
I think.
Yes, I think that was the one. That was the one
that
I
you're
was thinking
of
about as well.
Yes.
Me and Craig, same page. That's really worrying.
That's
the one that I was. That's the one I was thinking about. Street Sharks.
Yeah.
But yes.
No,
So
yeah,
the reason I asked is I have a feeling I might be doing a bit of a J, because I'm going to get that. I'm going to get Casey definitely. So I might go back and watch the cartoon, and if I like the cartoon, I might sort of backtrack on the original. Because
you're going to have to get the turtles then if you're going to
have to get the turtles, yeah. Because I've got a few. I've only got two. I've got two turtle sets. So I've got where they did the 4-pack of the Eastman Laird original comic ones, the buff ones. Sorry, not the original ones. So I've got them. I've got the 4 movie ones from NECA. So they're my 2 turtle teams, and I think I've got Raphael from the Super 7 Ultimate, and I did want to get the rest of those. So I mean, we may as well make it 4 turtle teams rather than just 3.
Fair enough. I've got quite a lot of turtle teams myself. And did you say 4-pack of Mirage Turtles? I think he did say that, didn't he? So look at that. What a segue. Again.
What a segue. What are the chances?
There's another 4-pack of Mirage Turtles just been announced. So if we go over again to Toy Arc here, we can see we've got the sort of Turtles in Disguise, sort of street scene styley, Eastman and Laird sort of Mirage comic turtles. They look more like the Lawson Turtles in terms of their design. So I have all the omnibuses of this era, and I have been reading through. I've read the first 2 volumes, I think. I don't think I've actually seen them in these outfits yet, so I'm assuming that is later on in there. But we got some dynamite and money, a safe. What are these brothers getting up to? Clock, they look like they're on the rob, aren't they? I'm not sure which one's which because I haven't read that full issue yet, but I do like the sort of Popeye turtleneck sailor turtle outfit over here in the corner. So it's going to be another 4-pack for the Mirage line coming, has been shown today. Running out of room on that shelf, potentially. My most wanted figure in that line is in the back, because there is sort of curly-haired 80s April. That looks just like her from the comic book, so I definitely want that April. But we got another 4-pack there being shown today. Again, there's loads of stuff because we have jumped back over to NECA here. Lots of Last Ronin stuff. Now, Adam wants buff, and he wants a duck in a little in a Speedo. And this is a figure for you. Look at Ace Duck here, looking absolutely buff in the ring. This is a day one purchase for me if I can get my really little hands on this. This looks absolutely fantastic. So, the wrestling stuff from the Archie comic era has been shown. I wish they would make this bloody ring into an actual thing so I could actually put my turtles in it. They've almost like they've done the same thing that I've done. I cut the back of the box set out to make the crowd, and it seems like they've done exactly the same thing there. So you've got Leatherhead in the chair, so we could achieve that. There's been so much shown from the turtles today. There is the Stan Sakai designs as well. I've seen. I don't know if here they are. Yeah, so these are ones I don't potentially need, but they do go there with Usagi Yojimbo.
I really like. Oh, okay. So maybe it's 5 sets because I really like.
Okay.
I really like these.
Okay.
Because we met at Thomas designed these, didn't we? The bloke we met at.
I wasn't there on that day that year actually, so I never did meet him.
Okay, he designed these. So yeah, I really like that design. So yeah, it might be 5 teams of turtles.
5 sets, and Usagi to go with them, and so that's another set of turtles, and then we've got the 2012 stuff from the. So this is a show I've definitely never seen. This is a sort of like CGI animation from 2012. I don't know if the show is any good. Anybody actually see? There seems to be a chicken with a brain on its head, so that's kind of a cool accessory there. Again, I do know these designs, but I was kind of out of turtles by 2012. I was how old I was in 2012. I was about 25 by this point, so I wasn't definitely watching the children's animated shows at 25. So I have no nostalgia for this. They wasn't selling them at Woolworths either, so there's a shredder there. I kind of like, again, the design. The foot shoulders look very thin, and that's a NECA figure. That is not going to stand up. That is going to fall over and break. I am telling you now. So I have to get Tanner's thoughts on these soon, because I'm sure this is a cartoon potentially I think he would want in on as well. So you've got the 2012 stuff. Not actually sure who this turtle is from the wrestling side of things. In disguise, Wingnut and Screwloose in the cool outfit design there as well. So much. They're redoing an ultimate version of Shredder. Comes with a floppy disk. Who doesn't want a floppy disk accessory there?
I mean, that's a great figure, isn't it? I mean, it's the cartoon made 3D. Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a pinless upgrade to the original version of that figure. So probably a figure I will pick up as another version. Last Ronin stuff here, probably easy to see all in one shot there. So I haven't read the second volume of the Last Ronin stuff, where I think a lot of this stuff is from. So I'm not going to be able to guide you through. I think you do have that graphic novel.
I'm literally looking at it. I haven't started reading it, but I'm looking at it now. So I think I'll probably end up being interested in a lot of these.
So that's a 6th set of turtles then. We could potentially think.
Actually, yeah. Shit. Sorry, I forgot. I've already got.
Yeah.
I've already got some of the last. The last one or so. It turns out that when you ask what my favourite line is, I've never mentioned turtles in my life. But
I don't think we've ever discussed turtles. I didn't.
But then now I'm shocked as to how many of them I've actually got.
You've actually got, I've got quite my fair share of different turtle sets. I don't have the Last Ronin sets. I do have the Last Ronin figure himself. And I tried to stop there because I thought I can't go any further into another line.
Have you read it?
I've read the first one, but I haven't finished it. I'm on the it's like 5 parts, isn't it? I've read the first 4, so never actually finished the thing.
That's my favorite. In all the years I've been reading turtle stuff, it's my favorite ever run on.
Yeah,
turtles.
I have enjoyed reading it, but you know what me and reading, slow as anything. Yes, now these have just been broken from Pixel down here. Concept versions. What if Bebop and Rocksteady were in the original movies? Well, they would have looked weird. That's quite the. I don't know.
I'm not keen on Bebop. He looks ludicrous, but I like the Rocksteady. I do like the Rocksteady.
It's a little vest with a little hole in. It's kind of random. Don't know. And it also says, I think, Kevin Eastman 2.0 in the corner. So they're re-releasing the Garbage Man. This is... look at the nipples. I don't know what to say about these. It's a definite pass from me on these because I'm only getting stuff that was in the film. That's an easy rule I can set. But I can see the appeal because people always wonder where did Token Razor come from? Literally, I don't know, there might be more turtles. I have seen, I think Toy Shiz has an exclusive video for the cartoon line. They've announced a robotic version of Toka and Razor. Again, concepts that were never actually in the cartoon. So again, I can pass on them. But there's a lot of turtle stuff, effectively, from Super 7 to the NECA. And there's probably more than we've shown. So we'll go back to Toy Arc in a minute to finish off if there's anything new. But this has just been shown. We moved to another line. God knows what line we're on now. And we're still holding strong the viewership. So we're keeping people engaged. Hello, everybody. I hope you're enjoying our talk. So we're going to go into He-Man now. A bit of Masters of the Universe Origins. And I've picked up a load of these recently from Smith's because they've been down to £10. So I've picked up Hordak recently. And there's Faker then. So there's the animated. These have been based on the Filmation 80s card. Another cartoon, which means another line I wasn't going to collect because I had the Masters Universe Classics versions, but then these pulled me in. So I've got these as well. I know Adam is in on some of these as well. There is the Orko with the beard. Not an episode I remember. Is it his family member or is he in disguise?
I don't know. Yeah, that's not one I remember either.
Well, we'll move swiftly on, like we know what we're talking about. Oh, she does look cool. Again, I've had her in the version from Classics. Didn't know he was coming.
Hero, yeah.
Is it Hero? What was his name?
Hero.
No, it's She-Ra. She-Ra's he's always trying to woo She-Ra. I forget his bloody name. I've got Bo. His name's Bo, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
I think it's Bo from She-Ra. I think. Oh, the chat are telling us here who that is Uncle Montalk from Damien and Cute Cult. So they know what that version of Orko is.
Oh no, Damien's Kombat is called Bo. You were right. Bo,
there we go. See, I pulled it out of the memory in the end, but he's cool because I have him. He's in my sale pile for the classics, but he's now going to be coming in cartoon collection, so that's pretty cool. Oh, Grizzlow's looking good. They could have made him furry really with a little mirror on the wall there. There was Kuka always wanted that Shadow Weaver figure as a kid, but you can have it now in the Origins line. So it's a fun little line, this Origins. I am enjoying the Origins. I'm not quite enjoying the new Club Grayskull, the return of Club Grayskull on Mattel Creations.
What was that about?
It's literally a load of bollocks. Give us £10 a year, and you'll be allowed to buy our figures. Nothing else, effectively.
Nothing else.
Just a subscription to the website to be allowed to buy the figures that are all exclusive anyway. So that was a load of rubbish. But Fang Man, is it? I believe. Got to try and pull out our old names here. They're going to the more obscure characters. I think it's Fang Man. There was or is it Fang Or? No, I think it's Fang Man. There was someone will tell us in the chat. We seem to have all the Moto experts in tonight. And then we move into the Masterverse stuff from Origins. So in terms of what I'm buying, every single figure in Origins I effectively purchase. So yeah, I'll be getting all of these. Happy to have them. But I'm out on the Masterverse. Now, I haven't bought the Masterverse in a couple of years. I still haven't actually got around to selling the original ones. They're in a box somewhere. But it looks like we're getting She-Ra added. We're getting the big claw version, like the Terror Claws, are they called? I can't remember. Of Skeletor with a very funny helmet. It looks like Cobra Commander on his head. And then we got another version of He-Man. Again, these are figures I do have in the Origins line, in the toy version of the Origins line. And then we got an updated version there, a figure Adam will not buy. It is a female, so she is not being purchased. That is a very weird helmet.
That is a very weird helmet.
Very, very weird helmet indeed. Terror Claws, aren't they? That's what they're called. Fangman. There you go. 1 episode characters, Damien. So pulling out the Motu name. 68 Motu images. There we are. So let's have a quick scroll down. This will be easier. So I think that is it for Motu. Or is that it for Motu? I think, oh God. Right, okay. So we'll just quickly get Adam's thoughts on the Motu, and I'm going to move on to Thundercats. There was you in for all these?
Yeah, so I started on just the normal Origins line, and then I kind of drifted out a little bit of that, but I'm in on the cartoon collection, so I'm going to try and do the whole, I'm going to try and get the whole cartoon collection, so I'll get all of the cartoon ones.
Yeah, I thought you would. So you're in. So that's a pair. We're both in on those then. But, well, now I think we might have some differing opinions on this one. So this is the crossover line with the Thundercats. Now, here we are then. So they're going to be in like the Origins scale, and they have all sorts of attachments, and I'm assuming that's supposed to be He-Man mixed in as well, potentially. Okay, it's Battle Cat. There's this Mumra Skeletor combination. Now, I'm going to go on record here. I'm going to go on record and say I absolutely hate these. Oh, this is weird. This is far too weird. Now, I also do not like the Turtles crossover line. I cannot stand the He-Man crossover line with Turtles. I don't like the He-Man crossover line with wrestling, and I especially don't like this He-Man crossover line with Thundercats. So I think it's just me. I've got a weird bee in my bonnet, apparently, for crossover lines when it comes to the sort of Origins bodies. I just don't like them and find them weird. Now, if this was just plain old Thundercats in the Origin scale, I think I'd be quite excited by it. But these weird designs are just so bloody weird. I don't know. I just don't get it. I do not get it at all. What is going on? But no, I don't think the majority agree with me. Please take my money, literally. If you'd like me to take your money, you can super chat your money in. I'll take your money, no problem at all. There, so we could do it. We could do with the donations, but I don't think you mean that. I think you mean Mattel could take my money. I like some. Damien likes some, but not getting all of them. I don't know. I just don't get it. It looks so bloody weird. That is so strange. I don't, Adam. I don't think you agree with me.
Do you know what? Okay, I can't. This is a really weird one for me because I totally do. The turtle crossover, I hate it. The wrestling one, I hate it. There isn't a single like sort of jokey figure in my collection. Like not a single one. Like all of this. God, it's so ridiculous that I'm a 44-year-old man sitting here saying I only collect serious action figures. I've just heard myself say that out loud, but sod it. It's totally true, and it's absolutely how I view it. I only buy what I consider like serious. Jesus Christ, Adam. Action figures. So this is a really bizarre one for me because I saw the image. I think I saw the Battle Cat one first. I saw the images in the group chat today. I really like some of these. I really like the Battle Cat one. I like the He-Man one. So yeah, not many of them. Some of them are ridiculous. Like the Man-at-Arms Panthro one looks ludicrous. The Skeletor one looks bloody stupid. But do you know what I think it is? Do you remember when? So I'm not into Legions at all, but I would love.
Yeah.
Do you know they did the Legions years ago, where they did a He-Man and a Battle Cat and a Panthro.
Yes, they did a tribute figures.
They did a tribute figures. I would have loved them. They're on probably my like Grail list. It is the He-Man, the Panthro, and the Battle Cat ones of them. And I saw that Battle Cat one today, and I don't know, maybe I'm just like, right, that's the closest I'm gonna get, as ridiculous as it looks. But no, I'm kind of with you, except about a couple of these.
He loves them. Now, Virtual Dave is saying you can swap some of the parts to make them more like their normal looks. So,
okay,
I can see. Okay, so I can see. Yeah, you can take. You got He-Man standard, and there's different hair pieces. So I don't know. Can you get these funny helmet things on?
So could you build Lionel if you bought?
Okay, so you could.
Okay, so there's his belt. Yeah, there's his belt.
There's his belt.
Hair.
There's the gauntlet, the hair. So as long as this, I don't know, the bit around the face is attached. If that's attached to the hair and comes off with the hair, then yes, potentially you could. Okay.
Oh,
so I might be more interested.
That changes it a bit for you.
Yeah, if I can build them to the originals. I don't need to build them like the originals because I have all the Super 7, well, not all of them, but I have all the ones I want from Super 7 one, and it is attached to the hair, Virtual Dave is saying. So, okay, you can make more classic Thundercat-y looking figures. Okay, do they show that? No, that's just weird. That's just so weird. Okay, well, Adam's in for some of them. I am not, but maybe I am when I see them stripped down. But I'll tell you something I am in on, because we're still going. We've got another topic, because you're talking grails. This is it. Here we go. We're going to go to Largo Figs and Toy Migos on Instagram, because they have literally, it's been shown these. In hand look at Biker Mice from Mars, Wave 2, Lawrence Buddy Limburger in all of his glory. Pre-sale of May 25, $35, so about £30 in the UK for these. The main villain of Biker Mice from Mars, Lawrence Limburger. Take his head off. He's a dirty old fat fish under there. What a random character, but I loved the Biker Mice from Mars in the mid-90s. And I've been harping on for years about wanting a Biker Mice from Mars line. I thought Super 7 might do it. But luckily, the Cell Company have come out of nowhere and done it, and they're fantastic figures. They're way better than Super 7 figures, and they're much cheaper. And I paid for the bikes literally yesterday, so they're due on Monday. I will have their bikes here with me to go with the figures. And now Wave 2 to add the villains, including some of my favourite figures ever as a child, because I had quite a few Biker Mice from Mars. So we've got the ones now displayed once. He has already said on the live stream, if my co-host is a fan of this line, then these two figures, because potentially you might have to, we've been told, order these all together as a bundle of like 5 or 6. I'm not sure if that is accurate, but if you do, my co-host here probably would not want Carbine and good old Charlie. So we will find out in a second if he is a Biker Mice from Fars fan and can sell Rich those two. But here he is. Here he is. Now, this may have been my favourite figure as a child. This is Grease Pit. He is a goon from Biker Mice from Mars. And I loved him. I used him in... I used to mix things as a child. I used to have a little Sabutio set with a little football attached to it. And I used to flick that around the room. And this guy was a goalkeeper. So he was a goalkeeper in my childhood toy football team. He's been in my childhood wrestling league because all my figures had to wrestle. But I love Grease Pit. I don't know. It's a man in bloody overalls, a load of grease with a massive chin. But I absolutely love it. I'm so happy this is a figure I can buy as an adult. So there he is, Grease Pit. I don't know. Did they stop the Biker Mice Mars from line now? I'm fine. They've got every character I want. Because the only other character I want is Dr. Carbuncle. And there he is as well. So Dr. Carbuncle is here. What a wave this is. I am marking out live on YouTube at 10:30. I've not even had dinner yet. My God, this is fantastic. Doctor, look at him. He looks bloody brilliant. So this is, oh, come on. And Fred the Mutant is Carbuncle's accessory. So you haven't got to pay separately for Fred. He's got a bit of articulation in his arm. Oh, my goodness. So, oh, here we go. A little video clip at the end there. So thanks to Largo Figs and Toy Migos here on Instagram for sharing these. Look at these bad boys. So it's a wave of 5, I'm assuming. A wave of 5 coming in May. This is a literally minute 1 pre-order for me. I know I love Biker Mice Mars. I had the play set as well as a kid. I've rebought that play set from a recent toy fair, and it's now in the back of the display. I could not be happier about these. I'm going to guess this man's never even watched Biker Mice from Mars, but we'll hand over to Adam.
Never seen an episode.
Oh.
Never seen an episode. I think I might have been vaguely aware that it was a thing, but yeah, never ever seen an episode. So no, this is a wave that I can enjoy just your enthusiasm about, but it means nothing to me.
Rich, if you're watching on the replay, he's failed you there. He cannot sell you the female figures.
Sorry, Rich.
I'm so happy. I cannot tell you how happy I am for these. I've clearly got far too excited. What have we seen so far today? A Mythic Legion's Dragon, a Mondo Wolverine, loads of wrestling figures. Mask is back. Mortal Kombat is back. McFarlane's lost the DC license. This is one of the biggest toy news weekends I've ever heard of. Power Rangers with Playmates. Sorry about that, everybody. But oh my goodness, Biker Mice from bloody Mars. Absolutely love this. Virtual Dave's all in as well. Damien's having a chat about it. Craig's in for a hell yeah. No man is talking about suckers and goalkeepers. It's all going on in the chat. I, for one, am absolutely ecstatic. And we will now go to a giant shark. So it's our very first comment of the night. Started with the click, Shani. I'm sure she's watching on the replay. Let's mention this. So we're getting the 50th anniversary Jaws, but hold the phone. It's actually a board game. So we have the anniversary of the game of Jaws. So effectively, this was actually a game back 50 years ago. It's a bit like, as we're saying in Let's NECA chat, like Buckaroo. I don't know if our American friends know what that is. But apparently it's a donkey, not a horse. Mr. Who corrected me there. And you'd flip it, you'd fill it with crap, and it would flip and kick it out. So effectively, you fill the shark's mouth with crap until it shuts its jaw, and I guess you lose the game. Now, I'm assuming they've released it in such detail with all these accessories because of the fact that I think they've mentioned doing a Jaws figure before, but clearly had a licensing issue, I would say, and cannot release a figure, so they've released this board game. But clearly, this is a massive, even looks
Jaws
slightly
figure.
Articulated Jaws figure to go with your ultimate Jaws figure. But it's actually a board game. So I'm going to be buying this in Lego form, actually, because Lego have a fantastic looking Jaws diorama. So that is on my Lego list. So it's not one for me, but I think it looks bloody fantastic. Are you a shark man?
I love Jaws. I love the film. I watched the film for the first time when I was on holiday in Florida as a kid, and later on the evening that I watched it, I went missing from the hotel room, and there was a huge search on in the hotel, and some of the staff found me in the swimming pool looking for Jaws. Well, I don't remember any of this, but I'd escaped the hotel room as a child and had gone to the swimming pool to go swimming, looking for Jaws after having watched it for the first time that night. So no, I love it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not making the collection, but yeah, I love it, and I think that the thing itself looks great.
So Jeremy has played the original game with his cousins back in the 70s. So
there you go, Jeremy.
I talked about playing Mortal Kombat earlier with my cousins, but Jeremy in the 70s was playing Jaws. So we got some figures to go with it as well. We haven't got the police officer chap because again I think there's licensing issues. So we've got the other two. So you're never going to have quite a complete collection. So there's something going on here with Jaws that I don't think I don't know. But yeah, Jaws is happening. So there's about 18 different versions of Elvira. There's a Terrifier being shown. That's a very, very strange horror movie. Almost seemed to have no plot. The very first. I haven't watched the sequel, but the first one was very, very strange indeed. So there's little toony terrors of that. What else is there from NECA? So we've seen, I think, all the Beetlejuices. Oh no, that's a new Ultimate Beetlejuice, isn't it? Because the other ones are re-releases. So we have the. It's a very weird head sculpt and looking a bit like Michael Keaton.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's slightly better. I don't know. That's probably me being fussy because I had pre-ordered the Hot Toys Beetlejuice, so that's probably my. But you do have the Dante's Inferno playset, so I know in Cat and Culture would be pretty much all in on these. He seems to be a big fan of the Beetlejuice. So that's the NECA horror stuff, and we have reached the end of every tab I had open. So let's go over to Toy Arc and let's see what else is new before we wrap up for the evening then. So what else is over on Toy Arc's website? Let me just go back in from scratch, Toy Arc, and see anything missing. Anything we've missed. There is some Sesame Street stuff I'm thinking we've not covered. So let's share this one instead. Let's close all the rest of these other tabs. And what we got? We got Loyal Subjects, Gem, and the Holograms. I can't imagine Adam is going to be in on these. Where's Rich? Display blunts where I'm sure you're in on these bad boys. Look at these. Where's Rich when you need him? Gem and the Holograms coming from Loyal Subjects. So I can see those being quite popular, to be fair. But my co-host is going to be no use on those. There's some classic Playmate stuff. They are literally going balls deep on them in the classic Playmates. So they've made a new playset. Where's the classic stuff? So you've got the old Cruiser there. Now, Dan was telling me this potentially scales with some of the NECA stuff potentially, so I might be able to use that. But I'm not in on the Playmates original stuff, but they're literally re-releasing everything. So, and obviously much cheaper than some of these vintage figures can actually be on the market. So you've got the Mutant module. That would be a vehicle I want to see NECA do.
Is that what Dan said he wanted?
Yes, yeah, you see, I'll be in for this. Unfortunately, a lot of these don't release in the UK, so that man's international postage bill, or Mike Heck's international postage fund, is going to be bloody expensive because there's some big vehicles. There's a sewer lair coming as well within this line. Literally every figure you could imagine is being redone from the Playmates line, so that's happening. So if you're a Playmates fan, you're in for some serious billing for the rest of the year. The Blockies are on the market now as well, so there's Blockies from Sesame Street, but we won't cover Blockies. Mondo, I don't think I've shown anything particularly new, have they? Let's just go and check. Have we got any of the updated Ghostbusters from our friends at Mondo? So got a closer look at Clayface, but we have seen Clayface before, so you know I'll be in for Clayface. He's already on pre-order. And closer, so we've got the two that are currently available to order rather than any of the newer Ghostbusters, but they have said the backpacks are magnetic, so that's kind of cool. Slimer looks amazing. So
Slimer looks really good.
Oh, that's going to look so good in front of the firehouse. So looking forward to that. We've seen those. Mattel, have they shown anything new for the wrestling line? That's all out. Nope, nothing new. Hasbro haven't done anything yet, so they're having like a press afternoon, a press lunch or something. Maybe a press dinner by the time they have it. So potentially we'll be getting closer looks. I'm assuming the Maximum Spider-Man, but I can't see anything particularly on here. Where is the bloody Sesame Street stuff? No, there's Sesame Street stuff somewhere. The Trickle Street Studios actually have like a load of horror licenses. They're not particularly articulated, but there is one thing in here that I got very excited. There it is. Oh my goodness. So I'm a massive fan of The Crow. Not just the film. I love the comic or the graphic novel. I've actually read that. So there
Have you read
is
one?
Eric. I've read one. I've actually read one. So I will be buying this. It's going to have to go on the miscellaneous shelf that I don't do. It seems slightly more articulated actually than the rest of the Trick or Treat Studios stuff. But yes, please.
That looks good. That looks really
in
good.
black and white as well, like the art of the book. So James O'Barr Crow, I was obsessed with the Crow growing up. Loved the movies, and then Sting wore the same face paint effectively, and that just transitioned into the wrestling. So I was beyond obsessed with the Crow. I've actually got a long leather jacket. I've still got it to this day. I used to wear it all the time in my teenage years. It wouldn't actually. I don't know, Mr. Who said, oh, okay, right, we've got some G.I. Joe news coming. Let me go and find that. But yes, I love The Crow, so I'll be buying this. Have you read the original book?
I haven't, but I love the original film, and it's kind of a bit like you, where you've got lists of ones that you definitely want to get around to read. The original Crow, something I really want to read.
Yeah, you'll definitely like that. It's such a cool book. Let me have a look then if I can get onto the full force here. So what have we got for thingy? So we're over on no, we're on Twitter, are we? Or X as they call it these days. Can I find the images? Where are they? But it looks like something G.I. Joe potentially has been shown. Live research here. There was a bit of live research. Don't know where that's taking me. Where are they showing? A bit of a channel membership thing now. One thing I did want to talk about actually is the G.I. Joe exclusive. Where am I going to find that? There's a. We're doing live YouTube digging as we speak. I've just seen Phil Jones has just met Nixon Newell. He's or Tegan Knox from WWE. I'm seeing all sorts of things in my DMs as I'm reading here. Where is this Full Force website? Why does it not take me to their actual? Right, we're determined. We're going to find these G.I. Joe images. Aha, there we go. Thank you, Mr. Who. Look at that. He's super producing me from the background. Where's right, here we are. We're on the floor. We're on the floor. What are we seeing here then for G.I. Joe? So, ooh, okay, right. Let me get some sharing done. We'll share this tab instead, and we'll give you the G.I. Joe breaking news. Right, there we are. We've got firemen. We got a fireman. Why have we got a fireman? So we got a generic fireman. So this is the legacy. So it's like the 60th anniversary stuff, is it? I'm assuming yes. So a generic firefighter in the G.I. Joe line. So I could see this being used in about 18 other different lineups there. Oh, I don't know. It's a random. I don't know. Would you like a fireman?
Not really. No, not really. I just don't know where it would. I just don't know where it would go.
Where are you going to put your fireman?
Where is your fireman gonna? Where's your fireman gonna go in your display?
Well, I actually think it fit better in Marvel Legends. I think he would be putting out a fire in a building, and then Spider-Man would come along. So if I could mix lines, and potentially this could be,
if you
this
could,
this could be a line mixer there. So we've got the Televiper on the retro card. Is that Flint on the other retro card? Yes, for the Bull and I have got here for the G.I. Joes. There is, and we got the other version of Cover Girl, isn't it? I think yes. Oh, 3 for 3 as we do some live G.I. Joe research here. So we got these were announced actually at MCM, I think, weren't they? We were there when these were announced. She looks fantastic in there. Adam, of course, doesn't do the lady figures. That's one thing we've got to change over this course of this year. We've got to get Adam into the lady figures. He already admitted he only collects serious stuff on the channel. So in episode 1 of This Week in Toys for 2025, so by the end of the year, we intend to have him fully in on the female form. So I think we'll start with China, the WWE line. She's got the muscles, or maybe a nice Rhea Ripley. Can we get him a mammy figure? She has got beautiful muscles, beautiful tattoos. We'll see if we can get Adam on mammy by the end of the year.
Jay always says that I'm like a bizarro world version of him.
Yes, effectively. So we got some closer stuff here, maybe from the press bunch. Some is that Law and Order? I do believe. Okay, they look cool. Got some blurry images to go by, but we are literally we're breaking the news as we go through here. Okay, he does look cool. So they do a good articulated dog when it comes to G.I. Joe classified lines. So that'll be definitely 1-2 pack that I would be getting in. And we will just jump over then, because Mr. Hugh again is helping me in the background here with some fantastic producing. Because here is the SDCC exclusive set that's just been announced this week. Cold Sliver. So if you like a cartoon, I do. If you like an 80s cartoon, I do. If you like rock music, I do. If you like 80s hair metal, I do. Well, what else can I say? I'm buying this bloody box set. Look at this thing. We are getting the Dreadnoks in disguise as the Cold Sliver band from the Sumbo cartoon. And the renders look pretty cool. So we've got a full drum kit effectively in 1/12 scale as well. So use this as you will. I've got the Mezco Pink Skulls playing their music. Look at that. With a flying V in the tie-dye colours. Look at the like I say, the pants he's wearing. Look at he's almost wearing tights, effectively. He's in wrestling tights.
Wrestling tights.
Literally like an 80s wrestler. Who doesn't want a guitar? I've got one of them in Turtles. Now I've got one in G.I. Joe. And we've got Zartan. So, Adam, 80s hair metal and G.I. Joe.
So, when I said I only collect serious, This is outside of my wheelhouse slightly, the 80s hair metal G.I. Joe band. But I did like Dan's suggestion that all he's seeing is just instruments for the Who crew. I thought that was quite funny. You could just outfit the whole Who crew with random instruments from the set. But no, this not for me, this one.
Right, we've got more breaking news. We're gonna go over to Toy Shiz here.
Here we go.
We've got Toy Shiz being shared. Toy Shiz is at the press bunker, hence his little fancy watermark. So shout out Toy Shiz. We never see his face, but he's always got the coverage. So go and subscribe to his channel if you're not. He does always give really good toy coverage. I've been a subscriber for many a year. But there's your tease. There is those accessories. I can see them live. It is the Marvel Legends blade things that come off the end of Archangel's wings. It is the X-Force silver version of Archangel. It looks fantastic from what I can see. I've never had the original version of the silver one, and it has bugged me for about 10 years. So the fact that this is coming, absolutely fantastic. So we got some live breaking news of Archangel from the Hasbro press event. So we have stayed on the air for long enough now, at 2 hours and 46 minutes, to actually get some Marvel Legends news. I'm never going to eat. Looks like I'm going to stay up all night and watch the wrestling pay-per-view. So Elimination Chamber tonight is John Cena, CM Punk, who is going to WrestleMania to face Cody Rhodes. I'm getting no sleep, but I will find out. So Adam, talk to me here.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite Archangel designs from the comic. I don't like his normal sort of feathered winged design. I've always preferred like the Archangel version of him. So, and the X-Force version's brilliant. So yes, all in for this one. Absolutely.
Right, we're just going to scroll my Instagram now. I think with the rest of this, we go back to Toy Shiz here, because I can see some of the other stuff we want to talk about underneath as well. So if I click on that, where's that going to take me? It's going to take me there. Right, there we go. So Toy Shiz giving us the coverage. We'll keep that going. Let's see how we're doing. So we are both in for this. Craig looks like he is in for this one as well. Loving the new wings. Looks brilliant, says Profit. So Toy Shiz doing the work here of the toy collectors, because they said they're going to have the influencers in there. So they've done, of course, similar stuff with us in the UK. So it's nice to see the Americans getting a chance at this. And of course, Jay will be watching Collecting Justified 8:45. I didn't even mean to click on that. I've plugged that man enough to see if There was an accidental plugging of Justin Collects. What more could you get? We're going to have some fantastic watch hours on this video. Like I said, everybody's stuck with us. Over 40 viewers with us for the whole time. Thank you, everybody, for staying with us. This is fantastic. And you've been rewarded for staying with us with this breaking news of Marvel Legends. So Archangel is the reveal. It is not just the Doctor Doom roleplay helmet that Adam, of course, gave you that full breakdown on earlier. So Prophet in there saying this one looks brilliant as well.
Yeah,
there was Justin soliciting my viewers down there. So Archangel looking good. So it's clearly going to be a deluxe. Any more information we got on it? Just a code. So I'm still looking at Warpath's pins. Like I'm not bothered by pins. I say I've kept McFarlane, but they're just sticking out so much now in the Hasbro line. It just looks so weird to see them. But that's another X-Force team completed then. New head sculpts and everything. The wings look much better than the other wings actually as well. Could do with some other wings on the other Archangel then. I'm assuming this will be. Let's play the prices right. This is going to be, I would have said 40, but I think it's probably 50.
I think it's going to be more than that, yeah.
I think it's a 50. I think that'll be a 50. You with me on 50 or are you going less?
Yeah. I think it's going to, I'm going to go with 50.
He's in for a 50. So your patience has been rewarded with an Archangel courtesy of Toy Shiz. And he did also get the exclusive reveal of what you can see there, actually in the thumbnail. You can see it on his page there, which is the metal version of Toka and Razor I was talking about earlier. But they look a bit weird, and they're not in the cartoon. So I don't need them. Now we're going to go back over to Largo Figs. If I can get this to load, and he's actually got some closer images of the turtle stuff from Super 7. So there is Adam's buff KC Jones that he surprised me is in on his 7th or 8th turtle line. We've suddenly discovered. But let's have a closer look and see what you can get. So shout out, of course, Largo Figs here for the coverage. So this is good. This live stream stuff. I just sit here. Does it?
Just sit here and other people do it.
We'll let them. There's the shredder.
That shredder looks brilliant.
Look at the size of him compared to Casey Jones. Actually, he's much taller than I was thinking. Much taller and much shorter, of course, is Splinter down there. So he's not looking the tallest, but he shouldn't be. So that's probably nice and accurate. These do look good. They are the early, of course, sort of prototypes. So the paint looks really good on these Super 7. Sometimes when it comes to production, the paint doesn't quite look like that, but we'll have to see when they come out. And there's a foot soldier, and those are the accessories that you only get if you pre-order directly from Super 7. So that's Casey Jones. Very nice indeed. Right. Let's have a look. Anything else? I will just scroll away and see if there's anything else we need to cover. But I've exhausted my list. Anything else? There we go. No, there is more. There's a Big Bird. There was a. So right, Sesame Street. Big Bird has been announced from the NECA Ultimates. Big Bird. So Veebs, of course, always works with Robo. So Robo Veebs. So here is an ultimate version of Big Bird. Looking pretty good. And they've also shown Oscar, I do believe, today as well. So Big Bird. So Sesame Street. Something I used to watch when I was ill as a little child. So if I had a day off school, I'd always watch Sesame Street. It'd be on Channel 4 around lunchtime. So I've actually got quite fond memories of Sesame Street growing up. It's been on for many, many a year. So I often walk around this house talking to Cheeky Monkey Cara and go, "Hey, Bert." So she likes a hey Bert. So Bert and Ernie, I think I would like a Big Bird. I'd like Oscar the Grouch. And potentially that's it. So this could be a nice little 4-figure collection on my kind of miscellaneous-ish shelf. But they are also doing the sort of toony versions of them as well, they've shown today. So I don't know if I need the ultimate version or the little toony version. The toony version might fit in better with the collection. But there is Big Bird. I know Veebs is a massive fan. Now, Oscar does come with these very, very weird-looking elephant trunks that you can put in his trash can. And I don't know how I'm going to describe them, but there's some very phallic-like elephant trunks you can. But there's a shoe, there's a little Converse down there as well, and there is Oscar just poking out the trash. So he does look cool. So I don't know. I don't know if I want to pay £40 for him. That probably is going to be. But yeah, some new Sesame Streets. Now, Adam in Sesame Street, I'm going to assume he was a grumpy little child and has no interest in Sesame Street, but he must have been young once. And Sesame Street's been on since the 70s, so you must have watched bloody Sesame Street.
I watched Sesame Street at my nan and grandpa's house when I was a kid. So yeah, I remember Sesame Street. I really liked Oscar. I think I liked Oscar and the Count. I think were my two
Okay,
favorite
so
Sesame
the
Street.
Count was announced in wave 1. Are you in on these or just admire them from afar?
Yeah, just admire them from afar. But no, I get it because I mean it does tick the nostalgia box because especially Oscar, like I said, I really liked him.
Okay, I think we may have come to the end of the toy news. I think we've done it. We've nearly clocked in at 3 hours. This could be the longest toy related live stream I think potentially I've ever done. The wrestling ones go longer because I can't shut up about wrestling all night because we're watching along. But I think I'm just scrolling my Instagram again for a refresh. We've covered everything that I would be interested in covering. We could go on for days and days. There's lots of little other companies there within New York Toy Fair. But I think probably the Marvel Legends news, it was worth hanging on for. I'm just scrolling. I can see Biker Mice from Mars as I scroll in the background here. I don't think there's anything otherly pressing that we need to discuss. So I think we might be able to, I might go have some dinner. Have you had any dinner? You've had your cheese. How's your cheese been going?
Oh, don't know, Jan. I eat all of the time, so I had a full meal just before the stream started. this was like after snacks.
After snack, I've got a nice baguette, I think, waiting for me. I think Cheeky Monkey's bought a Cornish pasty as well, and a British classic I could enjoy this evening. There was a. Are we still chatting? Well, I think have we done it? Have we achieved?
I think we've done it. I think
the first official This Week in Toys. We've kept the streak alive as well. We've introduced Adam here as the co-host in Cheeky Monkey's absence. I don't think she might have literally killed me if I'd gone on for 3 hours talking about toys. So I think Adam has got the job. We can officially call him the co-host of This Week in Toys, which is this quarter in toys usually, or this occasional month in toys.
This has been my favorite. This has been my favorite interview I've ever had. Then
there you are. There you are. It's a non-paying role. Occasionally you can have a figure. We'll give him a figure. There's a big enough sale pile. We'll give him something out of the sale pile when he next comes for a visit. Well, let's wrap up, shall we? Let's wrap up. I'm quite tired now. So I hope you've enjoyed, ladies and gentlemen. I've enjoyed chatting with you all. I've been looking forward to this all day, actually. Those reveals were just coming thick and fast. I do love Toy Fair. So let's try and summarize what we've seen. What are my favorite things I've seen this week? So I'm quite into McFarlane's Mortal Kombat. Has me intrigued. That has me intrigued to see that property potentially go deeper than we've done before. The Mythic Legion's Dragon is coming up. I'm pretty hyped for that. As I say, I'll try and do some coverage next week and say hopefully Chloe can join me and go into details on the Dragon. You've all tried to enable me on the Mondo Wolverine Fund, so thank you very much for all the super chatters this evening. I have to do some thinking on the Mondo Wolverine. I have to show Cheeky Monkey on the replay to see what she says.
All the pressure. Yeah, all the pressure.
Yeah, fantastic wrestling announcements. That Crow figure was intriguing for Trick or Treat Studios, but I think Biker Mice from Mars, that second wave, has to be my favorite thing. To see Grease Pit and Lawrence Limburger and Dr. Carbuncle in toy form has me giddy, essentially. So you've been sacked, apparently.
Yeah,
Craig says, where is he? There he is. Bring back Cheeky Monkey. We'll have to get an Adam emoji. I don't know if we've got enough channel members for more emojis. So anybody wants to join the channel, they'll join the channel. We can get more emojis in there, and we can get I will put Adam's face with the Batman logo on as a channel member emoji. So you want to use those.
Damien's just reminded you about the poll results before you finish the stream.
Oh, well done, Damien.
Well done, Damien.
Yes. Channel members coming through. I forgot about that poll. Now it's 74 votes we've had now. It was in the 20s last time I looked.
Pretty good.
So, who will make better DC figures, McFarlane or Mattel? And it's pretty close. So the final result of the poll is 62% for Mattel and 38% for McFarlane. So effectively 40-60. That is a lot higher for McFarlane than I thought
It's
it was
higher than
going
I
to be.
thought. Yeah, it's higher than I thought. I mean, that percentage are wrong, but it's higher than I thought it was going to be.
That is much higher than I thought it was going to be. I thought that would be 80-20. But yeah, McFarlane's maybe got his love out there. I bought enough of the things. As I say, yes, I bought plenty of McFarlane figures. I do like the figures, but I think Mattel could be better.
Jeremy's
Oh,
helping you out as well,
hello. Jeremy with the late super chat. Thank you very much. Another one from Jeremy tonight. $5 more for that Wolverine fund winky face. So, after 3 hours of streaming, the Wolverine people. Why is everybody tempting me to buy this bloody Wolverine? She's going to go nuts if I buy another one. I've still got to sell the other one. Craig, you're in the chat. Buy him a bloody Wolverine. Thank you very much, Jeremy, for the super chat. Very kind of you. We'll give you the thank you for the super chat graphic. Who have we not seen tonight? We have not seen a man with a shiny helmet, but we may have seen this helmet on a Skeletor figure I saw earlier, but it is Cobra Commander.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you very much, Jeremy, there for the $5 super chat. I'm richly running out of voice tonight, but we have been talking for 3 hours. I thought we might do 2 hours, but I didn't expect us to do 3. I didn't actually even discuss timings with Adam before the show, so we've just talked. He's still here, so he must be available. No plans.
I cleared the schedule so we could just I didn't care how long, because when I saw this afternoon when the group went mad and it was like I was like, we're going to be on a long time.
It was it was Damien that gave me the idea for streaming. I was thinking I've got out of a party, so Cheeky Monkey not happy with me, and they want us here they want to keep us going. So Justin collects as well. Thank you very much, sir. He has also got another $4.99 super chat just because you guys were great. Now, Justin,
cheers.
Thank you very much. We have shared his link in the chat. You have to scroll way back up. We can probably I've still got the tab open. He's in luck. I can share it again. So thank you, Justin, for the support. He's been very courteous to us this evening. There is his link. So he will be on in now less than 3 hours. Justin will be on. I'm not sure if Kenny will be with him because he's at ZoloCon, but I'm sure Mr. Evan and Mr. Smith and Mr. David will be there. I don't know if Andrew's in the basement. And we don't know what your boys got toys will be doing, but those people's opinions on McFarlane toys, I think, will be worth the live stream watch. And poor Justin, he's been crying in my chat, but he's going to be crying all night about those Power Rangers reveals. Now, another man that's co-hosted this channel very effectively before is Mr. Super Turk 5000. He's just checking in. He's 3 hours late, Tanner. 3 hours late. That's a long replay. Adam is in on Super 7 Turtles. I'm in on Super 7 Turtles. We are speculating on all your Turtles opinions. So you're going to have to let us know in the comment section your Turtles opinions. He's getting ready for the Elimination Chamber. We are 1 hour away because the pay-per-view starts at midnight. So any wrestling fans out there, it is the Elimination Chamber tonight. The final stop on the road to WrestleMania. And who is going to win that chamber tonight? We will find out. Whether I can stay up all night, I don't know. That's the intriguing thing. If I can't, I'm going to have to turn the internet off all day until I can watch it again, probably about 5 o'clock tomorrow night, which means I will miss all the toy reveals that happen
all the toy reveals
during tomorrow's rush. So I don't know how I'm going to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to stay up till probably 4 a.m. And I need to be out the door at 9. So can I function on for about 4 hours sleep? I don't know. Last time I do this for the wrestling, you stay up all night, and then I work on Monday. I can usually do that, but by Monday it's caught up with me, and I'm falling asleep in the office on Monday.
Are you in the office?
I am in the office Monday and Tuesday this week, and in meetings. So
that's rough. That's rough.
There's a Visible John Cena's. There is an Invisible John Cena. I haven't seen it in tonight's images, but there is one out there. There's also John Cena in his WrestleMania 22 entrance gear with a black coat on as well. And we have a new channel member as well, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy, not only a super chat, he has joined the channel membership again. So thank you, Jeremy, for joining the channel membership, supporting the channel there, and getting yourself the emojis in the chat. And I think we might have enough channel members now to potentially go to that next level of emoji. So I might be able to add some more in. I prepared lovely graphics, as you saw, for Adam. What do you think of Adam's, in the thumbnail, everybody, of Adam's Batman face logo? Do you think he should change his Instagram profile picture to match the fantastic graphic of figurecave.collectibles? Because at the moment he's just got his Galactus in his profile picture. We've got to get him on brand, you see. He's had his beer, he's had his cheese, and he's had his toys. He's on his, but he's how many sheets to the wind has Adam become during this stream? Can we get him? We stay on long enough to buy a female action figure. There's how
not
many
enough
more pints away?
There's not enough beer in this house to get me.
Yeah. Oh dear me. You still have to catch up with SmackDown, Tanner. I haven't watched SmackDown in about 4 weeks, so YouTube tells him what happened. So that'll be fine. There was Devil Boy Batman. Well, that could be a chant. That could be a Only Fools and Horses Batman variant of Adam. Would be a pretty cool thing to do. So Jeremy has told me he was trying to get out of going more to the comic book way rather than the figure way. But he's thinking that DC Mattel line is going to drag him back in now, potentially.
Yes, good man, Jeremy. Good man.
Under that advice, will be coming back in with a new line. That is how we started the stream. Again, that was our first topic tonight. Was the DC Multiverse deal between Mattel. I'm forgetting what the things are. I've spoken for so long. Mattel and DC. McFarlane, he is out the door by the looks of it. But we have got Marvel Legends reveals breaking. So Adam, what are your top reveals from the weekend then as we wrap up here?
Mine. Randomly, that Shredder figure, I think, is probably one of the ones I'm most excited about. Definitely the new Archangel. And bizarrely enough, I'm going to say that Crow figure. But despite not having read, because I just know how much I love the film, and I know I've always wanted to read the
book's better than the film. Yeah.
Have you got it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. In which case, I might borrow that next time I'm round. But yes, I think those are probably my top three: Crow, Archangel, and Shredder.
There we are. See, so Adam didn't need to be here for the first 2 hours 45 minutes. Thinking that's all the stuff from the last 15. He's either that drunk, he's forgotten the start of the stream. Well,
no, like my favorite bit is obviously the fact that McFarlane is out of the DC game, but because we haven't seen any of the Mattel product yet, I couldn't say that that's my favorite because I haven't seen it. So if we're talking just about favorite actual figures, but my favorite bit of news was the bit that we started with, the fact that Mattel's not making skinny Batman figures anymore.
Yeah. So as we finish off, then let us know in the chat then your favorites from New York Toy Fair. Of course, it has been Saturday, so I'm assuming most of the reels would be today, even though it does go on for about 4 days. I think you think they do most of it on a Saturday. I know Hasbro said they weren't doing an awful lot there. Damien says, so far, Biker Mice, Motu cartoon stuff, and that Wingnut and Screw Loose that we saw in the background there of the NECA display is his favourites. But where's Cheeky Monkey? I tell you, people, she's still out partying. So it's now 11:10 here in the UK. See, I'm falling asleep, not even had my dinner yet, and she's not here. So I think I might have to all night this for the rest of the Elimination Chamber, but. Well, I suppose we're waffling on now. I think we've had a good evening. So thank you to the chat for being with us. It's been quite fun talking toys. It's been you need a long commitment for a proper This Week in Toys. So I will do multiple live streams reacting to usually the Hasbro news, the G.I. Joe news, the Marvel Legends news, the Star Wars news. You'll find me either with videos or reactions after that. Otherwise, it's many videos from the toy collection you will be seeing as I do lots of maneuvers to make room for these new collections. But definitely the next version of a live stream, unless we pre-recorded, of course, will be the Mythic Legions Dragon stuff. But we could potentially do that, I believe, next Friday. and I'll come up with some videos in between if there's any more breaking news. Maybe I'll have to do a massive video recap tomorrow night, because maybe there is going to be more to come from New York Comic Con. So we'll just go through the chat and the favorites there. Profits enjoying those NECA What If 90s and monster figures. Jeremy's in for the Red Death Phantom of the Opera there from NECA and Universal Monsters. Virtual Dave has enjoyed the bit of the live streaming tonight. And then, yes, Reaction Plus. We didn't look at the actual Reaction Plus from Super 7 in the 3 3/4-inch scale. They did show Back to the Future and a few other things. And that is actually my front door. Cheeky Monkey is just walking through the door, 10 sheets to the wind. So we'll see how she is when we get in. But, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Jay. This has been Jay's Toy Collection UK. This has been the longest ever action figure related this week in toys in the history of the channel. So we'll see you in about 6 months for another one, but no, we will try and be back much more regularly. So thank you to the channel members for subscribing to the channel. Thank you to all this evening's super chatters, and thank you to our co-host, Mr. Adam Batman Moran. Now, where can they find you online if you'd like to plug yourself?
You can find me at figurecave.collectibles on Instagram.
There you are. You can find him right over there on the gram, figurecave.collectibles, for all your buff, serious action figures.
Serious buff action.
So at some point, I will find an end screen. So there it is. I know where it is. I found the end screen. We've still got over 40 viewers with us as we end the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, fantastic. So we need a word of the day for the replay. And I think the word of the day will be serious action figures. So anybody in the live chat, go help the algorithm, get in the comments section after and type serious, hashtag serious action figures. And anybody on the replay, it's been with us for 3 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, well done.
Well done. And yes, thank you very much. And hashtag serious action figures in the comments. Let us know you've watched all the way through. But that is our coverage from New York Toy Fair 2024. That's a load of rubbish. It's 2025. I've lost a whole year at this time of night. But ladies and gentlemen, he has been Batman. I have been Jay, and this has been Jay's Toy Collection UK. And we'll see you, of course, on the next video.